Hey everyone.
And hello everyone.
Hello everyone on YouTube. Those of you that are joining us, we are also on YouTube on Wednesday night OWCP chats, and we are actually streaming live.
Streaming live!
So if you have any friends that don't have social media, they can head on over to YouTube at Wednesday night OWCP chats with Chris and Gini. Make sure they put with Chris and Gini.
Because if you end up with Derek, you are screwed, because that dude doesn't know anything.
Yeah, I wonder why it's so not bright.
Don't worry about that. Let's do that later.
Anyway.
We're live. We'll fix stuff later. Come on. She's fixing her volume to see if it gets brighter.
Fixing the
The volume's not going to fix your brightness. Let's go.
There we go.
Yeah,
I don't think that's going to work. Okay. Anyway, welcome everybody. We're back.
We're back.
And
better than ever.
We've been away for about 2 weeks. Yeah, something like that.
And it felt like 2 months underwater.
Yeah.
And I can't hold my breath that long.
So we were, as you guys know, we went from Tampa to Atlanta to Alabama to all these other crazy places. And DC.
None of those places
Atlanta.
were actually crazy. We love them all.
We had so much fun. And then last week, you guys saw that we were streaming live from Dr. Kevin Lee, Dr. Kammerer, Dr. Suma, Dr. Fred's, their office in Pinellas Park, and it was awesome. It was like it was a little party, but they did a good job. Plus, we had attorney Eric Blowers, and so it was a really good night. So it's probably been about 3 full Wednesdays. We really haven't been on, but
we miss you.
Yeah.
So and I've been able to do some talking, but it's not the same. You know, when I'm live in the offices, and I appreciate your patience. I'm speaking to a live audience, and so they have needs as well. But you're all really good sport to let me go live on Wednesdays from these offices. So thanks for that.
Yeah, and so let's start because we didn't even start because we just got so excited with our YouTube. So welcome everybody. I am Gini. And this is Chris.
I am Chris.
Welcome to a 2-hour special for... Sorry, guys. So, I feel like we have to start all over again. And everything went bad. Okay.
No, just keep talking. I forgot to plug in the power.
Yeah. So, in the meantime, you guys share. Again, those of you that are just hopping on, we do have a... Oh my gosh. I need my charger for my laptop, which I was supposed to get. I called my local office multiple times for an appointment, and they haven't called me back. Sharon, what local office are you calling? Like one of our offices, or what office are you talking about? So we know. Anyway, those of you that are hopping on, we do have a YouTube channel. So hop on, or tell your friends that don't have social media that we do have. We are on live on YouTube. Hello. And this way they can see for free without going through social media. And so just to let you guys know, let me do some housekeeping. You guys know there's PDFs for the book at breakingowcp.com. And those of you that didn't know, if you want to go on breakingowcp.com and pre-order volume number 3, we're all in this together, you can do so. And about the 15th or somewhere about the 20th, we're going to go ahead and get those mailed out. So you can go on and pre-order now at www.breakingowcp.com. Let me just tell you a little bit about all of our... How long does it take to receive a schedule award when you see the doctor? It all depends on... I need my charger as well for this too. I know. How long does it take to get a schedule award after you see the doctor? We are really having some...
Everybody just talk amongst yourself.
Some issues. Oh my.
We haven't been on for a couple of weeks, and so I blame Gizmo.
There we go. Hello everybody. Hold on. We're gonna get to your comments. We're so sorry. Let's fix this here. Gotta make sure that it is working nice and bright. There we go. There we go. Houston, hello. Okay. Where was I? We're gonna have to start this whole thing all over again. Let's see. Hold on to your comments. Victor, hello from Central Florida. Can't wait to see you guys at the Florida APW seminar. Yes, we're so excited. So if those of you that don't know, we are going to be at the APW convention in Jacksonville. So that's what Victor is talking about. So all of you that are in Florida that are with APW, it's on the other side. We will see you guys in Jacksonville coming up, I think sometime in May or June. Sharon, you said Federal Injury Center office in my state. If you message me, Sharon, I will go ahead and make sure that you get a call back. Thank you for giving us the feedback. Dr. Cooper said you were awesome in Alabama and Georgia. Thank you, Dr. Cooper.
Who was awesome? Was he talking about me?
No, me.
Oh, shit.
All right,
Hey, everybody, what's up?
We're gonna start all over again because this was a ship show.
Hello, and welcome to Movie Phone.
Hey everyone, welcome to Wednesday night OWCP chats with Chris and Gini. It's been about 3 full weeks that we really haven't.
You really are starting over.
Yeah, haven't done much. I already talked about the books and the PDF and everything, and I didn't even get to share yet. So.
Just tell them the 3rd book's coming.
Yes, so you can go ahead and do your housekeeping, and the thing looks super low.
We're leaving it the way it is. All right. So I don't even know what she said already.
Yes, you can say it all over again.
Okay, so I'm supposed to say all over again what I don't know she said already. That's my life. So you've seen the books, great. There's a 3rd one coming out, breakingowcp.com. I recommend picking them up. I know the author, he's pretty good at it. And what we're doing is trying to prevent you from having these problems anymore with OWCP. And we do this in so many different ways. We have the franchise, where we're putting doctors all over the country. Right now I don't even know how many we have, over 50. I've been saying over 50 for a while. I should probably count.
You should.
I probably should.
You should count.
Most of it's like East Coast. Some of it's up in the central part of the country. A few places in Texas and somewhat north of that. And then we're in Arizona and Tucson. We're in California and Redondo Beach. And we're in Bremerton, Washington. So that's our West Coast states. So if you're on the West Coast, we are well aware that, you need some help. If you're in the middle part of the country, we are well aware you need some help. I was just talking to someone today who we're going to partner up with to help find you some more doctors. And she asked, well, where do you need doctors? So I showed her our locations map at federalinjurycenters.com and said, you see that middle of the country that's empty? Right there. If there's not an office there, we need one there. So that's the plan it's not just the plan, it's going to happen, is to get doctors everywhere. So we help you with doctors because, I come and teach at your, union conventions, meetings, whatever. And by the way, if you want me to do that, just, send us a message and let us know. We need to get invited by, your president or vice president or secretary of whatever union is putting it on, or whether it's a local, a state, a regional convention, national convention. We will definitely come. We just need a official invite. Because
From a union official.
Yeah, because we don't crash parties that we're not officially invited to because, that's in bad form. So we try not to do that.
What would preferably be okay, if you have talked to your union president, like some of you have been, and you have them on the email and, you CC them, then that's perfectly okay. We're hearing a lot of rumors about a lot of... We're just going to keep quiet for a little bit.
Nah, we're hearing rumors. There's a lot of unions that are thinking about bringing us on.
Yes.
And I can say it that way, no problem. We want to come and teach. So there's some hesitation because we represent doctors also. So tell somebody that needs to know that when we come and teach, we come and teach. It's not a sales platform. I'm not there to, try to convince you to go to one of my doctors. Believe me, after I teach you anything, only the very stubborn, hard-headed ones of you will not choose my doctors if you have an option. Because what I teach is all the different problems that you're having, that most of them are because you're going to the wrong doctors. I'm not going to teach that tonight because this is woodshed night, but when you know that there's a place you can go and not suffer all the problems that everyone else suffers. You know, I like to tell my my partners that you know, people will do what's in their best interest, and so all we got to do is just inform them of what's possible. You know, what's possible is 100% acceptance rate for claims. That's what's possible. Your experience right now, if you don't go to federal injury centers, is 7%. 7% or nearly 100. I mean, you pick. What do you want? Because if you're at nearly 7%, you're losing, you know, unless you're in the 7. The other 93% of you are, you know, getting crushed. But when you go to a federal injury center's office, like I was just saying at, you know, Dr. Lee's office in Pinellas Park, they're already at over 60% claims accepted. And the rest of them are just in process. And we were just at Dr. Cooper's, and he's already over 70%.
Yep.
The rest are just in process. That's our standard. That's what we're used to. When I began teaching this, I tell the doctors, denied claims are for other people. We don't do that. You can get a denied claim anywhere. How do I know? Because about 7% of you has an accepted claim. That's how I know. So the math proves my point. So anyways, I said all of that to say, if you want us to come teach at your union, meetings, conventions, whatever, we're open to that. We want to come and teach. The number one reason that we're not invited is because there's some hesitance based on the fact that we represent doctors, and I guess there's some fear that there's, I don't know, some fraud thing going on. I'm not even sure what that could possibly be. We've got lawyers that check lawyers' work. You know, everything we've done has been vetted by legal people. And in fact, it's funny, we have 3 lawyers ourselves, and every doctor we work with, 50 plus doctors, has lawyers as well. And all of their lawyers vetted our contract. So I'm not sure how many more lawyers have to look at this before your leadership and your unions decides this is okay. But if that's the only hesitance, we don't even talk about our doctors. We just teach you what to do, like we do when we're here, because that's what you're here for. You're here to learn. You're not here to be sold, and I don't want to particularly sell you. You decide. I teach, you choose, and that's how it should be. The rules state very clearly you have the right to choose your own physician. And we respect that. And in fact, we promote it. Choose your own doctor. If you want one of these, they're available. If you don't, no problem. Keep coming back. I'll keep teaching.
Yeah. Okay, so I have a lot to share tonight because this is such a huge topic. And if the people that are on YouTube, hello, welcome.
Hey,
we're excited that we're on YouTube now. It took me a little bit, but we're here. You can also write your comments down below in the YouTube section. And all of the YouTube videos will stay on YouTube forever. And same thing with Facebook. And then I'm going to go ahead and transfer them over probably to Instagram. So just to let you guys know, all of our social media, like you guys saw, I posted the other day, and we must have got like, I don't know, like 100 shares.
That's a lot of shares, just so you know.
The name of each of our social media page is going to be Wednesday Night OWCP Chats with Chris and Gini. Yeah. Make sure you put with Chris and Gini.
Because otherwise you get Derek and he doesn't know anything.
Whoever the heck Derek is. And we are on TikTok. We are on YouTube. We are on Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn and Instagram. So
and
those 5 places on social media, you can have access to us.
And if you want to have a really good time with Gini, go to TikTok. She loves TikTok.
I don't.
You do.
I don't.
I mean, she actually really does.
Anyways, back at the ranch. Did I just say back at the ranch?
Well, I mean, I don't know if this is a ranch, but back at the ranch.
So don't forget to, those of you that are on YouTube, click that subscribe button, follow, or whatever. I still have to learn the lingo for the YouTube. Those of you on Facebook, and then click the bell for notifications when we go live. That's it for YouTube.
Yeah.
And for those of you on Facebook, go ahead and click the follow button. That way you get the live notifications. A lot of you are telling me you can't see that when we're going live and you don't know.
Because you're not following.
You have to click the follow button. So
Victor says TikTok is for young kids. Okay, so
it's
I agree.
Actually not, though.
Yeah, but I agree with Victor because that's why I'm not a TikTok guy. I posted one thing on TikTok. It wasn't even that funny.
It was funny. All right, so hold your questions, guys. So tonight, 2 hours, we're going to get into taking management behind the woodshed.
They're not allowed inside.
And
that's where we go. I mean, that's the party.
A broomstick or a 2x4 and cha-cha-cha. I don't know what cha-cha-cha was, but it wasn't
We're not gonna
anything
do
bad.
So behind the woodshed, this is what my dad taught me. My dad, my dad's dad, my dad's best friend, Ray Blackwell. The thing with the woodshed is you need just like a piece of a 2x4. You don't even need the whole thing. It doesn't really matter. You just need enough to like swing it. So they,
Swing.
well, so they get the point. Yeah, the idea is to raise them up off the ground when it hits ass.
Ass.
Well, that's what we do behind there. That's what the woodshed is. And so we go back behind the woodshed. Believe me, as a boy, I was taken behind the woodshed a few times. I earned it more times than I got back there. But, I'm not going to tell my dad the stuff I did now that I'm in my 40s. But we don't take them inside. Once she goes, we're going to take the supervisors next week inside the woodshed. And I stopped her right there. I said, oh, heck no. They don't get to go inside. That's where we go when we're done in the back.
I had to say something. I didn't know about this whole woodshed thing, but there you go. All right, so hold your questions. Don't forget to share, tag your friends below, and get a piece of paper because there's going to be a lot of rules, laws, and regulations, some CFR, Code of Federal Relations.
The Code of Federal Relations.
Yeah, that Chris is going to give you because, again, so many of you, and we're even hearing this from the union presidents themselves, are so scared to file your paperwork. Why?
I don't know.
Because they're retaliating against you, they're threatening you, they're telling you that you won't have a job anymore.
Yeah.
All of this. So we're gonna end that again tonight. We do woodshed night maybe 4 to 6 times a year, so the new people that come on can hear it as well. So, with that said, hold your questions. Let me finish sharing. You start it now.
So let me just reiterate. If you start asking questions right now while she's sharing, there's a real good chance she's not going to see your questions. So it's a technical thing that frustrates me. But when she gets back, if she doesn't ask your questions, sometimes people come on and say, well, I guess you're not going to answer my question then. No. We're going to answer your question. Just ask it again. We will definitely get to it, especially in a 2-hour show. We're not going to miss your question. So just wait till she's finished sharing, and I'll tell you. She'll say, okay, go. In the meantime, if you've already asked a question, just, you may have to ask it again. So tonight I want to talk, it's woodshed night. I love woodshed night. Okay, it's my favorite night. I would do it like once a month, but some of you are like, well, you did that already. So, okay, fine. But it's important that you understand the rules and the concepts that I'm going to teach, because your supervisors, even if they do know these, are going to play dumb or actually be dumb. And in a lot of cases, that's probably the case. And so you're going to have to know this stuff, not just for yourself, but for somebody else. When I wrote these books, and again, you're not here, if this is your first time, you're not here because I sell books, okay? I have books, period. They're not expensive. They're almost free by the time I'm done with them. So if you're that guy named Darren who wants to heckle me because I have books for sale, man, get a life. We're just helping people. But, I wrote this book. This is the second one. It's called You're Not Alone, right? That's the subtitle. And, I'm trying to live that and help you to live it as well. And the third book that's coming out, the subtitle is We're All in This Together, because I think we're getting somewhere. On this Facebook page, so many of you come together and help each other. And so you inspired me to title my subtitle, We're Not Alone, because that's you. You did that. But another way you make sure somebody else isn't alone is you share the information. Tell them we're doing this. That Chris and Gini are on Wednesday nights, not Derek. Chris and Gini are on Wednesday nights teaching OWCP. And, some people say, well, I'm not hurt. I don't need that. Well, you might get hurt. And statistically, the odds are you're going to get hurt several times throughout your long career, because so many of you keep your jobs for 20, 30 plus years. So the odds are you're going to need this. But when people wait until they need it to get it, it's too late, because they start missing timelines and they start losing benefits because they didn't know. And so the time they're taking to try to get caught up is time they're losing benefits. So we don't want that. So don't let people be alone. Everyone needs to be sharing this, whether you're on YouTube now that we're here, or you're on Facebook, because we've always been there. Share this with your friends and let them know that there's a solution to all of your confusion. And we know that this system was built with confusion in it. You all tell us, and if you weren't confused by it, we wouldn't need to do this. So I want to start with, we do woodshed night all this time because your supervisors are hosing you in the worst ways. But you all have a responsibility to stop it and to, point people in the right direction, to back people up. That when someone doesn't know the rules, those of you that have this, get the rules. By the way, these first 2 books now are on PDF, and you need to download them to your phones, okay? You need to have Breaking OWCP, as I say, in your pocket, because once you understand the tables of contents in these books, you're able to easily go back, and when a supervisor says something wrong, you can fix it. You can say, yeah, but the Code of Federal Regulations says, or the CA 810 says, or the United States Code says, right? Or just Chris Helms freaking says, okay? Because that's the law. Whatever I put in here is real, okay? You need to be able to have this stuff in your pocket. So do that. It's only $5 to put in your pocket. I recommend it. But so what I did is, before I started, as if I needed a list, I teach this stuff for a living, I went ahead and made a list, and I've got 15 things that supervisors do that should piss us all off, and I've got 7 remedies for those 15 things that if you will do as many of these remedies as possible, you're going to get somewhere. One of the remedies, by the way, is not come to Wednesday Night Chats, although it should be, right? One of the remedies is not educate yourself with the books, although it should be. If you go on Amazon and look, there's 2 other books ever in the history of OWCP that have been written. One of them is like a very specialized topic that's not going to apply to most of you, and the other one was written by a guy who died in prison. So, do what you want with that book. But, mine, I think, are the first ones that are written in ways that you can understand that actually explain everything you could ever need to know in the system easily. So I'm going to stop talking about the books now, except for breakingowcp.com.
There is one thing I want to say is a lot of you will message and call us and tell us, I need an attorney. When I wind up asking you guys, what do you need an attorney for? Give me a brief description. You'll say, my claim is denied, and my doctor can't help me. And we understand if you guys are in a state that doesn't have a franchise or any...
Not yet, but they will soon.
Federal injury centers or any federal clinic to get help. And just today, Eric again told me they don't need to come to me. You don't need to call him. You're wasting your money. What attorney tells you that?
Yeah, he's actually really exceptional.
Wasting your money asking him to fix your denial, because you know what he's going to say? Just find a federal injury centers clinic to go to. That's what he said. And he said that last week when we were in Pinellas Park. Yeah,
and by the way, that's not because we're close, and we are, okay? We and Eric are friends, okay? And it's not because of that. It's that we are working together in the same direction, which is for you. And we work with him, and there's a lot of federal lawyers we could work with. But we work with him because he's the only lawyer, forget federal, he's the only lawyer I've ever known that would turn money away because you don't need to pay. So that actually fits our business model because we don't charge anybody anything ever out of your own pocket. And we don't even work with like imaging centers that charge you, and we don't work with surgeons that charge you. Our model is nobody charges you, and so of course we're going to work with Eric because he won't take your money for just nothing. So anyways, what she said is important. You don't need to lawyer up. You need a good doctor, who knows what they're doing.
Somebody just said you should hire someone to help us file the paperwork. Well, that's what all of our office does. And a lot of you...
Well, not all of it, but some of it's by e-comp now. We're going to talk about that.
Yeah, a lot of you call me and says, I need help. Even if you don't go to that office, or if you just want to call an office, because when you call the 877 number, I have that number, and it's going to take me a little bit to answer messages on Facebook and get back to you with phone calls, which I think I've handled all the phone calls. But you can call one of the offices, and they will help you with the paperwork.
Yeah, that's so all of our offices have what we call case managers, and their job is to help you with that stuff. So that was Maria Portal, right? 100% right. If the office isn't helping you, let us know, because we train case managers in the offices, and a lot of this is just training.
Yeah.
And let me just tie this back. If your supervisors were trained, we wouldn't have to do woodshed night, but we're doing it. So our staff is trained, and when they're not, you let us know, and we retrain, because we value training. We value you, and that you're taken well care of. So I know you're going to have a lot of questions, but I want to go through, and I have 15 problems. So I'll do like 5 and stop, and we'll answer questions. All right, so I'm going to deal with the problems that your supervisors are causing for you. Again, I don't mind saying, and if any of your supervisors are watching, minus the, I think, 3 supervisors that we really love because they're good and they take good care of you. That's a small number, by the way. 3 is a micro fraction of the total. So you 3 know who you are. I'm not talking about you. But they're causing problems due to being uneducated, not smart, or jerks. Or maybe all 3. I don't know. So if you know anybody that's uneducated, not smart, and jerks, you can hit the laugh button. I'd like to see that. That's Facebook. For YouTube, I'm not sure what you got yet, but like it a whole bunch of times. So here's the first problem. Your supervisor saying, oh, too bad, it's too late. You can't report your injury because it's been too long. Well, you have 3 years to report your injury. And so, I always start here because I think one of the biggest problems and the reason only 7% of people has an accepted claim is because the vast majority of people don't attempt, and the biggest reason people don't attempt is they think it's too late. Or they're scared, right? But I'll deal with that in a second. There's a lot of little laugh buttons. I know, your supervisors are like uneducated, dumb, and jerks. I know. So thank you for that, for confirming what we all knew already. But you have 3 years to report an injury, and so your supervisor is saying, nah, it's too late. Well, I'm going to get to a thing that's new for many of you, not so new for some of you, but it's new overall in the law, that means that the supervisor doesn't get to say that anymore. So, pick a finger. But you have 3 years. The Code of Federal Regulations and the United States Code both say you have 3 years to report your injury. And on a CA2 claim, you have 3 years from the date you reasonably were aware that it was work injury or that it was work-related. Victor said, stupid visor. Agreed. Although that's your word, not mine. I just like it a lot. I put it on a shirt.
We used to hear that word from so many years ago from one of the presidents at AFGE.
Oh, she was so
funny.
great. She coined the term stupid visor, so it's in shirts and cups and stuff. Look at breakingowcp.com if you want a stupid visor shirt. Or a stupid visor coffee mug that you can drink at work. That'd be a lot of fun.
That would be funny.
Somebody asked Ron Speakman about that one, who I know was on tonight. Okay, so let me just say, Ron's on vacation, and he's still here. So do me a favor. Ron is helping you out. We love Ron. If you're in Pennsylvania, that's who you call. But Ron's on vacation, so don't be calling that dude at 2 a.m. tonight, okay? Lindy's not going to be happy. All right, so back to it. 3 years. You have 3 years to report. So we're all in this together. It's your job to let people know it's not too late. When they're limping around and they're struggling casing their mail or, whatever they're doing at the VA hospital or, they can't move these bags at TSA or whatever, okay? These Border Patrol agents, we've been hearing also that, they're getting hurt all the time. It's incredible. I was at a Border Patrol union office like years ago.
Yeah.
And I made a really bad joke as a young guy, and I will never make it again. But the answer to my really bad joke was the union president there saying, son, and he started the sentence with son. It doesn't really matter what comes next. Dude took me out behind the woodshed.
Oh,
yeah. I learned that lesson the hard way. You guys are getting hurt too. Everyone's getting hurt. But too many people think they already missed their deadline to report. You have 3 years. Your supervisors will try to snow you and say 7 days, 3 days, 2 weeks, 30 days, whatever. It's all wrong. You have 3 years. So the first woodshed moment is for every supervisor that doesn't say 3 years, there's a 2x4 waiting for your ass. That's what's coming next.
Yeah, all the stewards that are on here, can we get some thumbs up? I want to see who are all the stewards here. And if you are stewards, you're in that position for a reason, obviously. So as far as being a steward, don't forget, help your coworkers. And if not your coworkers, we know other crafts that go and defend other crafts.
Yep.
In the building, in front of the supervisor, and we're talking about in the Birmingham area, this group of APW stewards in there, they kick AZZ a lot. And they help all the crafts out.
Do we have to put a parental advisory thing on this? So
Yeah,
you have
I know.
to say AZZ?
Yeah. So we're all
If your
of
kids
our
are watching,
stewards at.
you got to earmuff them because I
yeah.
might say ass.
All the stewards, you should be helping out. You guys should be going to your union and seriously saying, we need Chris and Gini to come and train us.
Victor said steward in the freaking house.
Yeah, well, we know he's one.
Yeah.
Go to your union, talk to them about having us come educate. Go to your state conventions and your national. I mean,
Jerry's been a steward for over a decade. What's up, Jerry?
we know that certain places don't want us in, or they don't understand what we're doing, and we get it. But if you put us in front of them, we'll explain it. And then after that, after they see one state training,
Yeah.
they're pretty much like, oh, this is all they do.
This is all they do?
Yeah.
It's like the best thing anybody
Yeah.
does. But anyway, so it is my training is definitely the best training you've ever had. If you haven't had it yet, I mean, you're here, so.
There's no stewards on here? Where are you guys?
Oh no, there's tons of them. Jerry's here, Victor's here.
Yeah, I know
There's
them.
six.
Yeah,
there's
I know.
six.
Yeah, I know those.
If you're a steward, please hit the like button. Just show her the little thumbs up like button so she knows you're here. But in reference to the 3-year thing, there's a new thing that came out. So you're going to get some new information here. Normally on Woodshed Night, I've got like 5 or 6 things supervisors do wrong. I got 15 things tonight. All right, so you're getting some really good new information. But one of the new pieces of information is a new CA-10, what a federal employee should do when injured at work. Go to federalinjurycenters.com. That's Federal Injury Centers with an S on the end, okay? Federalinjurycenters.com, and go to the OWCP Forms tab. The newest, most updated CA-10 that was just updated this past October after like almost 35 years is there. Well, among the things they changed was one thing that's going to make your supervisors a lot more confused than they already are just by waking up in the morning.
Yeah.
And it says, in one of the lines, it says, file your CA1 or CA2 within 30 days, period. Well, that's a problem because what they're implying is file it within 30 days on a CA1 so you can get COP. The rules are very clear that you have 3 years to file. What's going to happen is your supervisors who don't know the rules or who you didn't school on the rules, and you are responsible for that, your supervisors are going to say, 30 days, too bad. I told you all along you only had 30 days. The rules are still the same. It's 3 years. That CA-10 has an error. So your supervisors are likely going to look at that CA-10 and go, 30 days, too bad. But there's a remedy for that too. So here's the remedy. One of the other new changes on the CA-10 is what some of you are already doing, and that is to file your CA1 and 2 on eComp. And so now the new CA-10 says go to eComp and file your CA1 or 2. This is great because when you file it on eComp, your supervisor gets an email and they're required to just fill out their part. Gone are the days when your supervisor says, I don't have to give you a CA1 or a CA2. I don't have to. Those days are over. Because you go to eComp and you fill out yourself. You have a right to report your injuries. Your supervisors still have 10 days to get their part in to Department of Labor. And so one of my 15 points here, I'm going to cross that one out, is that get your supervisor's email address because they're going to receive an email. If you get even one letter wrong in the email, they're not going to receive it. Okay, and so like you're never getting a claim filed because you didn't have the right email address. So get their correct email address, but then go to them and say, check your email because there's a CA1 coming your way or there's a CA2 coming your way. You got to fill out your part. If they don't do it, the clock's ticking. The 10 days is the 10 days, whether they like it or not. When you have, the book with the rules, laws, and regulations, the first book has all those. You're able to say, the Code of Federal Regulations says you have 10 days to turn this into DOL. Today is day 1. I've submitted my part. So check your email. Your supervisors now have to, but this is Woodshed Night. So what am I telling the supervisors? Check your damn email. All right, just check it. Do your part because the rules are the same. You have 10 days to turn these in to Department of Labor. So when your employees are injured, they don't want to be hurt. They don't want to be out of work. They don't want to deal with your wrath. They're not looking for your harassment. They're not trying to skirt their job duties. They're not trying to put more work on their coworkers. They're freaking hurt. Go to your email and fill out the damn form and submit it. All right, you've got to do this. OSHA, by the way, is one of the remedies. OSHA says in their list of 9 employee rights that their right number 6 is a right to report a work injury. OSHA further says that it's a crime to prevent you from reporting or from exercising your rights. So supervisors, when you don't fill out your part of the CA1 or 2, you're violating the law. The law says it's a crime to prevent your employees from reporting their injuries. It's a crime. And if you're a USPS, it's on the about.usps.gov page. For everyone else, it's in the Code of Federal Regulations that applies to all federal agencies, which says if you attempt to prevent someone from filing their work injury claim, you can go to jail. You can go to jail. That's in the book too. Just so you know, it's in the first book. You have to get it by PDF now. But supervisors aren't going to get the book. I was talking to the rest of you. I'm not even sure they know how to read, truthfully. Maybe. I don't know, actually. It's just an opinion. It's an opinion. I don't know the answer.
I mean,
to
the
that.
ones we know how to read.
Well, I'm not talking about. I set those three aside. They're sitting right there. They're sitting right there. They got their popcorn. They like their situation. But the rest of them, I don't know. I'm not saying they can't read. I'm just saying I don't know if they can. I haven't tested them. Have you?
No.
I don't know. So let them know that there is a rule, a law that says they can go to jail. They cannot prevent you from reporting your injury. So supervisors, the 2x4 is not the worst thing that can happen to you. The worst thing that can happen to you is whatever is back behind those bars, and whoever your roommate is, don't know.
Yeah.
All right, so next thing is and I have these combined. I have a line that says CA16/COP. So let me talk to you first, not supervisors. I'm talking to all the rest of you.
Hold on, Stephanie.
Oh.
He meant supervisors, 3 supervisors that we know personally that don't do any of this stuff because they once had a regular position job, and it's
and we're
not,
stewards, and they know their thing.
right? And they weren't only USPS. We work with different agencies.
Yeah, so when I know there's a supervisor that's got your best intentions, I set them to the side and give them popcorn. I don't hurt them because they're nice to you. But the rest of them, the idiots, they get to go behind the woodshed. So the next one is CA16-COP. So for all of you non-supervisors, the rest of you, the number one reason that people experience personal, financial, life destruction after a work injury is they don't get a CA16 and they don't get continuation of pay. So these are people that have a CA1 injury that happened in a single shift, but they don't report immediately. You report now. The soonest possible time to do anything is report now. So when you're hurt, report now. Now. Report now. When you report now, you don't miss any deadlines. When you miss deadlines, nobody can overcome the deadlines. You miss out on the benefit that deadline applied to. For example, if you report more than 7 days, you can't have a CA16 that pays your medical bills for 60 days, and you never have to pay it back. If you report more than 30 days, you miss out on continuation of pay, which gives you up to 45 days of time off. Now with that, if your claim's not accepted, you might have to pay it back, but I'm going to deal with that in a second because it's one of my 15 points. When your claim is approved, you don't have that problem, and we get our claims approved. So I've never had a single person since 2007 who had to pay back COP. That's a clue. Okay, number one, that means we can get claims accepted, and we do. And that's number 2 and 3. Also, I'm not sure why I said number 1. Number 1, 2, and 3, we get claims accepted. But you need CA16 and COP, and here's why. Because you just got hurt today, you weren't planning on that, and you don't have a way to pay your doctor's bills. They want your health insurance, they want your co-pays, your deductibles, and your co-insurance, and your supervisors want you to come back to work tomorrow in spite of the fact that you just broke your arm. Okay?
Yeah.
And so when you have the CA16 that pays those bills so you don't have to, and when you have COP, you get to take time off, and the supervisors can't complain about it. Or they can complain, but we don't care. We don't care. In fact, I hope they lose all the sleep at night that you lose, okay? Because your arm's broken. Or whatever. You got bit by a dog, you stepped out of the vehicle and you tore your ACL. Whatever it is, you need to be able to have your COP. When you report outside of the window of 7 days and 30 days, you can't have it at all. So, what will I say to the supervisor? In order to avoid having to get the 2x4 behind the woodshed, give out the CA16. Don't give them a hard time. The law is very clear to supervisors. When you report within 7 days, they have 4 hours to deliver you the CA16.
Yep.
4 hours.
4.
Now, the exact law in the Code of Federal Regulations is in this book that you can only get on PDF now. That's by design because I want this book in particular in your pocket. It doesn't do you any good to buy the book in paper copy, set it on your shelf at home, get to work, your supervisor doesn't give you a CA16, and you don't have the rules with you. Tomorrow's too late. So if it's in your pocket, because you saved it on your phone, you're good to go. So check that out, breakingowcp.com.
There's people saying that they've been terminated.
Okay, we're going to get to that.
Yeah, so hold your questions.
Hang on.
We're going to talk about all of that.
When you've been terminated, I got stuff for that too.
Yeah.
But you've got to get your CA-16 and your COP so you don't go into financial ruin. You can just make health decisions, not financial decisions, okay? But supervisors, don't be a jerk. Imagine if it was you. You know, in all of my books, I write chapters especially for the supervisors. It's like hopefully one supervisor that's not, you know, that's not on my list of 3 over here that's eating their popcorn, hopefully they'll see it. Well, in my 3rd book, I wrote 2 chapters for supervisors. Because the first 2 books with a chapter each isn't getting through. So I got 2 chapters in book 3. I think you should give it to them. I really do. I think your supervisors need to read these books. Before I got into this, I was a manager. I mean, in healthcare, right? I mean, I had 70-something employees with a less than 5% turnover rate. What does that tell you? A less than 5% turnover rate.
Yeah.
We're in a college town. That meant I hired college students, and they only left when they found, you know, their career job from their degree. Everybody else stayed because I hired appropriately and I did not fire inappropriately. I gave people a chance. I love people, and they love working for me. Your supervisors don't have that. Okay, they don't love you, and you don't love working for them, and I think that's a problem. And that these 3 over here, they love you a lot, but I'm not talking about them. This is a serious problem. You know, this lack of respect, you know, a lack of, reverence for the law. Your supervisors are really doing a bad job. And so that's why we have Woodshed Night. So anyways, get your CA-16 and your COP. And I'm going to talk about one more thing, and then you'll get to go and answer some questions.
Did you say you're talking about CA-16?
I just did.
Okay, Candy, it says, we don't use CA-16, you're a rural carrier, and our form is a CA-17. So
let me answer that. Oh, please. Candy?
Yeah.
Candy. A CA-16 pays your medical bills. A CA-17 takes you off of work. Those are 2 wholly different things. The fact that you said we don't use a CA-16 just means your supervisors have snowed you. Every federal employee for every federal agency in every state in the United States uses a CA-16.
Yeah.
All of them. All of you all have access to a CA-16. You have to report your CA-1 injury within 7 days, and your supervisor has 4 hours to give it to you. You're not doing it. Okay, I've already talked about OSHA. You know, you file OSHA complaints when they won't let you file a claim. You file a grievance when you don't get a CA-16. Grieve it, okay? If you're not a member of your union or you don't participate, do so. Now's your time, because you need help filing grievances. If you're a rural carrier, you're going to have to file it yourself. Learn, okay? File a grievance yourself, because you can win that. And if enough rural carriers go ahead and file grievances themselves, you'll start getting CA-16s. But these CA-16s are the law. They apply to you too. They apply to RCAs, okay?
Yeah.
If it's your first day on the job, you can have a CA-16. So don't let anybody tell you that you have to pay your own medical bills, because that's crap, and you should not take it. You've got to start fighting for yourself. And so my last thing is choice of doctor, and then I'm going to let you ask some questions. Choice of doctor. The next thing supervisors do is they say, you got to go to the doctor I send you to. Today I was talking to a lady out of California who helps federal employees, and she said everyone's getting sent to Kaiser. Fantastic. Who the hell is sending you anywhere? It's your right to choose. Every freaking place in the law says you can choose your own physician. You have the right to your own doctor. Your supervisor is responsible for telling you you have the right to choose your own doctor. The CA-810 says that you cannot be forced to go to a doctor that's under contract with or employed with your agency. That's screaming VA. It's also screaming post office, who some postal agencies or postal locations contract with doctors who end up screwing you over. So you have the right to choose your own doctor. And supervisors, you get the 2x4 all about your backside, because you're not telling people they have the right to choose their own doctor. You're sending them to an urgent care that's staffed by a nurse practitioner. We love them, okay? But our nurse practitioners get counter signatures from MDs, and your urgent cares don't.
Yep.
And your claims are getting denied. That means your supervisors are sending you to a certain denial. When your claim's denied, they're going to give you a hard time, and I'm going to talk about harassment in a minute, but you have the right to choose your own doctor. And supervisors, It is your job by law in the Code of Federal Regulations to tell people they have the right to choose their own doctor, and you're not doing it because either you're not educated, you're dumb, or you're a jerk. What questions do we have?
Okay, so again, a CA16 and a CA17, it doesn't matter what craft you're in, it doesn't matter if you're brand new, because you're asking about it, it doesn't matter. You can get it still.
Yeah.
Candy said, my claims examiner doesn't return my calls, nor does the OWCP with the post office.
All right, so that's actually very common because there's so many of you and so few claims examiners. I'm not letting them off the hook, okay? You guys need help. But that's what happens. And then somebody said they called the claims examiner and they said, when you call, we're going to put you to the bottom of the line, which also sucks because I used to tell people to call every day, so, sorry about that. But you've got to know what's going on. Your claims examiner is going to send a letter. That letter should be on your eComp account. You can get an eComp account by going to ecomp.dol.gov, ecomp.dol.gov. And once you create an account there, which is simple, it's like one screen. I've done it. Okay, I didn't do it because I wasn't a federal employee, but I got to the screen. And it's just one screen. You hit submit, and then you're in. And then you can go from there and look at your documents. And some of those documents are forms or letters that are mailed from your claims examiner to you or posted there. And that'll tell you what's going on with your account.
Judy said, when returning to work, do you have to have anything other than reported to OWCP?
What? When returning to work, do you have to have anything other than report it to OWCP? Okay, so to go back to work, you need a CA-17. I'm going to talk about that in a minute, but a CA-17 is called a duty status report, and that's how your doctor communicates to your employer what your work restrictions are, if there are any. So be sure you get that, and you've got to get your CA-17 from your supervisor because they have to fill out Side A.
Tammy said, hey guys, management have been putting me in for LWOP for an approved CA2 case. I have been out since March 3rd. What do I need to do?
Well, your claim has to be accepted first. You cannot get paid for LWOP unless your claim's accepted. 7% of people have claims accepted. So I don't like the odds on that, but your claim's got to be accepted. By the way, like nearly 100 for us, 7% outside, 100% inside. Okay, just to be clear. So your claim's got to be accepted. Once it's accepted, you've got to have the right documentation. You've got to attach a CA-17, a CA-20. You've got to attach printouts of your appointments for if you're at the doctor instead of work, and a narrative report that we call a disability narrative, which is the doctor explaining medically why you needed to be out of work. And you turn all that in once your claim is accepted. You turn that in with your CA-7. That's how you get paid.
Jennifer Turnbull.
Jennifer!
She is a retired AFGE president from Miami.
And by the way, a no-nonsense, take no beep.
Yeah, she doesn't take any
at
crap.
all.
She was a great union
From
president.
me, from you, from stupid advisors, from anybody.
Jennifer, we're talking about stupid advisors. Sheila said, can you doctor shop for a schedule award because one
Let me just stop you.
did not give
Don't
you a
doctor
high.
shop.
High
All right,
rating.
so I want to recommend that you don't use the term doctor shop ever, okay? Because that's used against you. Claims examiners, nurse case managers, supervisors, they all say, oh, look at you, you're doctor shopping. When in effect, what you were actually doing is, I'm looking for a doctor who knows they're, from a hole in the ground. And so you are shopping around. You don't use that. What I will tell you is do your due diligence, work the system, find a doctor, go to Google. To find a good doctor, you go to Google and search OWCP injury doctor in your city and state. OWCP injury doctor city state. Funny, I didn't say go to federal injury centers. You can do that too. We have a locations tab. But some locations don't have those. So you got to go find, or don't have us. Yeah, so you got to go find a doctor that will do this. But I don't recommend saying doctor shop. Just find a doctor that knows what they're doing.
If you guys notice, there, Emmy, our case manager, one of our case managers, she's answering some questions. So
if you get an answer to a question from Emmy, take it to the bank.
Yeah, that's just as good as what Chris would say.
Yeah.
Tammy said, my union told me they have nothing to do with helping with OWCP or DOL.
Well, I'm sorry about that, Tammy. Our phone number is 877-787-OWCP. We have everything to do with helping you with OWCP and DOL.
Victor, our training for the Florida APW convention and seminar in Jacksonville will be 2 hours long. When we do a training, it could go anywhere from 2 to 3 hours. We say 3 because then those people that want to come up and ask their questions, we do that. But
Yeah.
what we do is we cut it off at 2 hours because that's basically what the training consists of. We always have a vendor table outside with our brochures and a bunch of giveaways, and you can ask your one-on-one questions there. So it's always 2 hours. So you will see us for 2 hours up there.
But for the rest of you that are just heard that answer, yes, we have a vendor table. We are not a vendor. We have nothing to sell at all.
I say vendor table.
No, it's
because
okay.
I'm
That's
just
what they
used
call
to
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not selling anything at all. Period. Okay. We have that table set up because after I teach, I have a lot of people that want to ask personal questions, and you don't want to do that, in an open setting. So we have a table so you can come talk to me in private.
Lewis Bailey said, dumb, check, uneducated, check, jerk, double check.
Lewis, I got you. Check.
Sherry shows, you told me to wait to file for torn rotator cuff surgery until I find out my regular doctor if it's torn again.
Okay, so I'm not sure what I told, but I will tell you this. You can't file for a rotator cuff tear without having medical proof that you have a rotator cuff tear.
I was the one that told her that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was definitely correct. You got to make sure you've got the imaging and your doctor confirms you have a rotator cuff tear. That was, by the way, made from work.
Stephanie said, my claims examiner doesn't answer voicemail. Voicemail is full, and even DOL can't get a hold of them.
So the only... all right, this is going to be the answer that I'm going to hate the most that I give in this entire night. I'm going to give it because it's the answer. You're going to have to call and try to get a hold of the supervisor to your claims examiner, and don't hold your breath on that being something that works, but it's the next step you must do.
Yeah. Sheila said, I'm tired of hurting. I retired in 2020 and my knee injury was from my job. Do I stand a chance of filing a claim, or you think it's too late? I worked there for 39 years. Do I stand a chance? Eek. And she already retired.
So I'm going to answer this so that everyone else can hear it, but let me say this. Go ahead and file because nothing bad can happen for trying. For the rest of you, report before retirement, after retirement. Their best argument against you is that it must have happened after retirement, otherwise you would have told us before you retired. You can report after retirement, but your odds of success are lower than if you report prior to retirement.
Yeah. Tammy said, what about long haul COVID symptoms? How does that work?
Well, okay, so COVID is a whole different subject, but in general, if you contract COVID in the course of duty, which basically everybody can prove that you did, look at our website. I've got a COVID page on there to teach you what to do. Once your COVID claim is approved, you have lifetime medical for anything that is a result of it. So long haul makes me think you're driving the truck. If you're driving the truck and you're in contact with customers or the general public or coworkers, you can still get your COVID claim approved. Once it's approved, you'll have lifetime medical benefits for anything resulting from that later on. And most of the stuff that's going to happen later on, we don't even know yet.
Renee Marie said, is doctor shopping the same thing, or does it look the same as one doctor referring you to another?
No, so doctors make referrals all the time, and the rules in OWCP state that referrals shall be honored. What I'm saying is doctor shopping is a thing that claims examiners, case managers, and supervisors will say about you if you go to more than 2 doctors. I just don't want any of you labeling yourselves the way they mislabel you. That's my whole thing, because I'm against the term doctor shop. Doctor shopping should be okay. Nobody should say, oh, this sucks, you're doctor shopping, because too many doctors don't know how to do what we do. And so you should shop around. Like, you should call every damn doctor and say, can you spell DOL? If they can't spell DOL, hang up. And most of them can't.
How do you spell it?
Well, they don't even know what the O in OWCP stands for. So if they don't, you shouldn't go to that doctor. And if you're at a doctor that doesn't know what it is, you should leave too. And if they don't know what e-comp is, or, whatever, if they're asking for insurance cards, you have a right to doctor shop. I just don't think you should label yourself that way.
Cottrell Jones said, any advice on getting your doctors to write your medical narrative? I have 2 doctors that are giving me the runaround.
So my doctors will write your medical narrative. The problem is they run a business, and I don't run their business for them. As a franchise doctor, they're required to follow my rules. And some of my rules, for example, are don't charge you money out of your pocket ever. My rules are write great narratives and never give up. And if you get a denial, do a reconsideration, never quit, ever, ever, ever. Keep going till you win. Those are a couple of examples.
Yeah.
But I can't force them to write a narrative for someone that's not going to be a patient. Like, let's say you're a patient of another doctor and you want my doctor to write a narrative. They can. I absolutely allow it and encourage it, but I can't make them do it because they are running a business. It's a tough deal, you know, but we want to do it. You can definitely ask. I want to do it.
Lovie Hayes says, I'm on OWCP, been off for a year because the post office told me they didn't have a job within my restrictions. Today I received a certified letter telling me I was suspended.
You need to go to your union and get help. So anytime you get some disciplinary action from your agency, you got to go straight to your union. And if you're not involved with your union, you need to be, and this is why. This is why.
Victor goes, drinks on me at the APW convention seminar in Jacksonville. I'm holding you to that.
We'll be there, Victor.
Not that I'm a big drinker.
Wait, where are we flying to from? We're going from Texas to there?
Yeah.
We'll be there.
We're all over, don't worry.
Yeah.
Marty Perez says, I understand there's a new office in California and a new one coming in Houston? Could you elaborate? Hey, this is news to me. Why am I the last to know about Houston, Marty? And Christopher.
Marty.
Good old Marty.
Yeah, I'm thinking of Newman and Jerry Simon. Newman. Anyways, Marty. I'm just kidding. We love Marty. All right, so yeah, we've got offices in Redondo Beach, California, and Thousand Oaks. And Thousand Oaks is brand new. They've just finished a training. You can find them on our locations tab at federalinjurycenters.com. And these are Southern California doctors that are willing to take all the cases throughout all of California. So, if you're in California and you can't find a doctor, get in line. The only two doctors that really know what the heck is going on are in Redondo Beach and Thousand Oaks, so give them a try. All you got to do is go to federalinjurycenters.com, check the locations tab, scroll down to California, which you don't have to scroll very far, alphabetically to get to the C's, and then there's only 2 offices there, so check them out.
So,
as far as Houston goes.
Yeah.
So Houston is brand new.
I got to drink to this because I'm finding this out.
Drink your Coca-Cola.
I am. Cheers.
So our partner Joe, whose job it is to find new doctors, and let's just stop right here. We have nearly 60 offices, 50 to 60. I don't know what we have.
You keep saying.
I don't know how many.
Hey, we just have 100 clinics.
Let me tell you why. Because our partner Joe is the one who is 99% responsible, in some cases 110% responsible, for bringing these offices on. So everybody put a love heart button. I want to see a bunch of hearts for Joe.
He's done a great job.
Without Joe, we wouldn't have these offices to be able to help you with. I would have nobody to train and nowhere to tell you to go. Joe is the reason that we all have doctors that can help you. And Joe was just in Houston. You keep those hearts coming. Keep them coming. He was just in Houston. He just flew over there to meet with the doctor who's a friend of ours. And while he was there, he found a doctor in Houston, Texas. Because that's what Joe does when he's out. He's always, always, always looking. I'll bet you when he goes to his accountant, to his bank, and to his haircut, you should see his hair. I'll bet you he tells his hairstylist about OWCP.
Joe doesn't have any hair, just so
but he tells everybody. So I just want you all to know, say hi to Joe. Joe is the reason we have so many offices to help you. And yes, he was just in Houston. I just found out today that we're going to have a doctor in Houston, Texas. That'll be our, we got Dallas, McKinney, Bedford, Texas, San Antonio, and now Houston.
Yeah, see, this is
Things
news.
Are going well.
This is news to me. Thanks, Joe, for texting me about that.
And Maria Portal, we are working on Connecticut. We know how big that is. We understand the importance of Connecticut. I saw your message real fast, faster than she could. So.
Okay, I'm going to read a message from YouTube from BJ Jackie 21. She said, I'm going to read everything first. How many times can you appeal a denied claim?
Unlimited number of times. As long as you do a reconsideration, you can keep appealing as long as you have new information from your doctor. Don't miss your 12-month deadline for reconsiderations.
She also said, so if the supervisor is sticking to the lie that he told and changed up the original CA1, and after sending in the proof that he lied, how can you get DOL to believe that you're telling the truth?
Okay, so because of that great question, I'm going to tell you to talk to your agency's OIG and explain to them the lie that was told, because that lie is punishable by fines and imprisonment.
Right. She also said, or he, what kind of trouble does the supervisors get in when they change up the truth? Isn't that falsifying documentation?
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Up to 10 years imprisonment and $10,000 or $5,000 in fines, or both.
Yeah.
That's not my rule. That's in the Code of Federal Regulations and the USPS website.
So her last thing she said, so no matter how much proof you send in that the supervisor has changed up, DOL OWCP is still going to take the supervisor's side.
Okay, so no. So what she's asking is, if the supervisor just lies, is DOL just going to take what they say? I love that question. What a freaking great question. And again, I don't know if this is a male or female. I said she. If you're a male, I apologize. If you're a female. All right, so the doctor and the doctor's narrative holds all the weight. Let's say your supervisor says you were not hurt in performance of duty. Well, the doctor can explain what performance of duty means and how you got hurt and overturn it. Anything the supervisor says, the doctor can refute medically. It's easy. Our doctors destroy supervisors all the time. That's when we tell you to bring your second page of the CA1, which is the next thing I'm going to talk about, into the doctor. Because the doctor is going to look at the bad things supervisor said and make them famous. And I've got some examples that many of you have heard, but some of you are new, and so I'll talk about it in a second. So ask me a couple more questions and I'm going to get back on my list because I got a lot to go.
All right, Patricia Gove. I have been out with a work injury since September 2020. I have been told that September 2022 the post office can let me go. If that happens, can I still be able to collect work comp?
Yes, on the last question, you can still collect work comp. If you're a rural carrier, you have 2 years. If you're not a rural carrier, I think it's like 1 year. Other agencies are different, okay? But it's not that they can fire you, but they can remove you from your position. So it's like I tell everyone, for a number of reasons, the best thing for you is to get better, which requires you to have your claim accepted, obviously. Requires you to have a doctor who knows what they're doing, clearly. But you need to be able to get back to work at some capacity and clock in, because the surest way to get paid is to clock in. And when you're clocking in, be sure you read that "do you know" question. When you're clocking in, then you know they're not going to fire you or remove you from your position. So get your claim accepted, get a valid CA-17, and go to work as soon as possible, because that's how you protect yourself. I don't want you fired, okay? I just don't want that at all. And there are some cases where the agency can take adverse steps against you. And again, this is why you got to be part of your union. If you're not part of your union for whatever reason, you should be. If you're paying dues and not participating, you should be. You got to know what's going on. You got to be in the know, because that's the muscle. You know, I can't step over the union line and help you. I can tell you what to do when you get there. You got to get there.
All right, so I'm answering 2 questions. Sheila, you said, can Federal Injury Centers help? Can Federal Injury Centers help me get my claim accepted? Yes, if you go to one of the offices.
That's our bread and butter.
Yeah. Maria said, all these forms are so confusing as to what goes on what. Some doctors don't want to fill these out. So this is why when we go to state conventions, union conventions, we try to go over all the forms. Especially in our state convention, we have a packet that we project by PowerPoint that Chris goes over every form. It's even highlighted in the sections that he puts in the book to tell you, don't forget to check off these.
Yeah.
So the more conventions we get to go to, the more you guys will learn the forms. The doctors don't really need to know all the forms, but you guys do.
Yeah. I want to answer a question. Somebody asked, you can find out who it was, do I know who Harry James is? Can you find who asked that?
Hold on.
Just scroll down some more. I see stuff faster there than you do. So somebody asked me if I know Harry James. Who asked that?
I don't know. I haven't got to that yet because there's so much.
I know, but I really like this question. The answer to you is yes. I'm not sure how much more I want to say about that, but I do know who he is because I'm from Texas. Harry's from Fort Worth. and represented a lot of federal employees.
Oh, one of those.
I'm not sure how effectively. I'm not saying he was ineffective. Okay, let me be clear. I'm not saying that. I'm saying yes, I know who he is. I know that like my interactions with him weren't great. I'm a really nice guy, so my interactions weren't great. But yeah, I know who he is. So I'm gonna answer the question. Yeah, I know who he is.
Bobby said, can Federal Energy Centers help me obtain my MMI and help me with a schedule award? Yes,
Yeah.
as long as you go to one of our doctors.
Yeah, so we have right now 5 offices who do schedule awards and counting. They're not all trained. That's the way it goes, you know. But my 5 is like 5 that aren't trained anywhere else. So we're getting there.
Melissa Wayne said, I had an orthopedic doctor through OWCP, then I requested to get a new one and it was approved. I've been with this new doctor since November. I've received a call Monday saying he was leaving the clinic. What do I do now? Can I find a new one? Yep.
If your doctor is leaving, you have to write a change of treating doctor form. In fact, just by the way, if you go to breakingowcp.com, I've got a free forms tab. You just click on free forms, and I've got a tab or a form on there that'll walk you through how to write a change of treating doctor letter.
Judy said, if you get a schedule award, then retire, but have something else go wrong with your injury, what are your options?
Well, you have lifetime medical benefits, so if you're retired, even after a schedule award, you can still get help medically. You can't get paid anymore because you're retired, but you can still get help. So I've got a lot more stuff to get through.
Last one.
Okay.
Does DOL drive around or watch injured employees?
Yes.
If so, why?
So they do, and so DOL will send somebody out occasionally, not always, but sometimes, and you never know if it's you, to see if you're doing things like going to the grocery store and lifting more than your 25-pound restriction on your CA-17. It's really crappy that they do it, but it happens. And so my recommendation is, whatever your doctor has medically said you can do at work, I would not go outside of that in public.
And Sheila as well, we don't know yet the information on the Houston office. This is something that I even found out just as you guys found out. So it takes at least a good 3 months for all this to get going. So as soon as we get information, we will tell you where in Houston, because Chris doesn't even know where.
Yeah. All right, so that's all the questions for now. So keep them coming. That's fine. I'll do the best I can. But I have like 11 more problems I'm going to deal with. So the next thing that supervisors need a 2x4 because of is the second page of the CA1. When you fill out a CA1 form, which is an injury that happened in a single shift, your supervisor is asked the question, was this in performance of duty? Does your knowledge of the facts of the injury agree with the statement of the employer witness? Was this due to willful misconduct, intent to injure themselves or another, or due to intoxication? So these are important questions that you need to know their answers to. But prior to eComp, they didn't want to give it to you because they wanted to say bad things to you or about you and not let you know, because they are... You know what they are?
I'm reading questions. So.
Cowards. They're cowards. So coward supervisors will not let you see what they wrote on page 2. They don't want you to see it. Because they're going to say that you were not hurt in performance of duty, or that you were injured due to willful misconduct, or that whatever you said they don't agree with because their knowledge of the facts of the injury are different. And so that's a problem for you if you don't have the second page of the CA1. But now with eComp, you get to just download it off of your eComp profile. And so when they fill it out, you get to see it. You need to take that to your doctor. And supervisors, here's your woodshed moment. If you write something on there that you know is not true, you're going down, okay? Because the punishment for making a false statement in relation to a FICA claim is fines, imprisonment, or both. And if they go to their OIG and complain, and they file a grievance with their union and complain, they go to EAP, employee assistance, and complain, there's a real good chance that that's getting back to somebody that can hurt you, okay? And that's way worse than a 2x4 behind the back. So, tell the truth on the CA1 forms on page 2. And for all the rest of you, get copies of it. Don't walk out without copies. When you go to your doctor, take it and tell your doctor, you got to address these negative comments my supervisor made, because otherwise it's going to hose your case. In 100% of cases where a negative statement is made by a supervisor, we address it in our narrative report and we get the claim accepted. Many of you are well aware of the story I have, it's true, of a lady who lifted a package over her head at the post office and fell down. And the supervisor said it was due to willful misconduct because she was noticeably unstable when she lifted that package. So she should have known better. So the doctor wrote a paragraph that was called willful misconduct and said it was on the part of the supervisor who witnessed someone who could get hurt and allowed it to happen. So that's what we do when we get that second page. We had another person who said that their knowledge of the facts of the case did not agree with the statement of the employee. Well, the employee stepped in a hole that was in a ditch, and she called her supervisor and said, I stepped in a ditch. And twisted my knee. She got to the office, and on her CA1 on box 14, she said, I stepped in a hole and twisted my knee. Well, the supervisor said, my knowledge of the facts of the case disagreed because she told me she stepped in a ditch, but she stepped in a hole. So the doctor wrote a narrative report with a paragraph that said, the hole was in a ditch, you idiot. That's a true story. And made that supervisor famous using his name and so forth. So get a copy of everything. And for your supervisors, just don't pull that crap. It's not going to work out good for you. I promise you. The truth is going to come out and you're going down. Bad things are going to happen, so don't do it. Next thing is privacy. Supervisors, for the love of God, and I told you this in my 2 books, don't talk about people's personal, private health information at work. If someone's hurt, keep it to yourself. It's nobody else's damn business. It's not your place to go talk about how you think someone's knee is not really hurt, or how you think someone's faking and they just don't want to work. That, they lifted a package that all of you have lifted so many times and you're not hurt. You know what? Your supervisor doesn't have a medical license. They don't have an opinion that matters. So don't take that. And supervisors, when you do that, you're violating law. Okay? You're not allowed to discuss private health information with your employees' coworkers. You idiot. So for you, if this happens to you, you need to file a grievance, talk to your OIG, maybe talk to employee assistants, definitely go to your union, heck, call Congress for all I care. But put a stop to this. Your supervisors have no right to ridicule you to your coworkers because they don't like that you're hurt. You don't like that you're hurt, way worse even than they don't like that you're hurt. So, privacy. Next, calling the doctor. Supervisors, let me put you on notice now. If you call any of my doctors and ask about your employees, my doctors are going to say, Supervisor John, did you know you just violated law by calling our office and asking about your employee?
Yep.
We're going to report this to your employee. We're going to recommend they file a grievance with their union, and you guys can deal with that from that point forward. We will then call the patient and say, your supervisor just called, go tell your union to file a grievance. Supervisors, you cannot call the doctor without your employee knowing you're calling. You cannot call and try to get information from a doctor outside of your employee's knowledge. That's against the law. It's in the code of federal regulations that you're not allowed to do it. My offices know you're not allowed to do it. So when you do it, we're going to hammer you. We're going to make sure that you end up behind the woodshed. Don't call the doctor.
And if that does happen, they shouldn't be calling you at home either. And if that does happen, you can also file a complaint with Department of Justice
For harassment.
For harassment, because
you're following doctor's orders. They have no right to call you at home.
That's a HIPAA violation for them to ask and talk about your work injury and all that on the floor. So those of you that have asked us, because this came up this week in a message, it is a HIPAA violation. Go to the website, Google Department of Justice, and see how you can file through that. And it does work. So don't think that it doesn't work.
No, it definitely works.
It does work.
You know what else works? Is calling your congressperson. Somebody asked Ron Speakman how that worked.
Yeah.
It works really good. Somebody else I just talked to called their congressman, and it was actually a man. I say congressperson because some of you are women that are in Congress. I don't know why people just say congressman. A great deal of them are women. Anyways. Congressperson. And your congressperson is going to fight for you because, you vote. So that matters to them. So that is a remedy I get to cross off now. Call Congress. Call OIG. I've talked about talking to your union. I've mentioned employee assistance. I've said file a grievance. And I've said contact OSHA. So,
and DOJ.
Well, DOJ, OIG. Okay, yeah, and DOJ. I'm writing DOJ because she said it, and now I'm crossing it off because the guy said. Okay.
Hold on.
We're
Actually,
almost done.
We're actually
We're
in
halfway
the second hour now. Those of you that are hopping on, anybody new, welcome to Wednesday Night Chats with Chris and Gini.
Share, share, share.
Share, don't forget to share. We are also live on YouTube.
So go and like us, subscribe and follow, whatever the button is there.
Yeah.
Push all the buttons.
Push
them all. Well, no, just like click them.
Push all the buttons.
So unless you have a touch screen, don't push it. Like her screen is not touch screen, mine is. If I push it, it doesn't.
Mine actually is too.
EEO is equal employment, and that is, somebody said EEO question mark. That's the one I didn't cross off yet. I'm not done yet. So EEO is a thing too.
So welcome those of you that are just hopping on. We're doing a 2-hour special. We already covered the first half.
Of what? Woodshed night.
Woodshed night, taking management
behind. Where there's
woodshed.
2x4s, like some of them are splintered. They're definitely chopped up.
A hammer, a saw drill.
No, just 2x4s.
Hammer, saw drill.
No, hammer, saw drill. That's like a freaking horror story. It's not Chainsaw Massacre. It's Woodshed night.
So keep your questions coming. Take notes. This is getting really spicy. And are you going to be talking about the
Yes,
CFR codes?
I have been along the way.
Okay.
Okay, so here's the next thing. I said I've got 15 things supervisors do wrong. I've already listed 7. Here's the next thing. Supervisors cannot wait on medical documentation to file your CA1s and 2s. Period. All right? So lots of times what they say is they've read some rule and they're like foggy, right? They vaguely remember that they read something and they're thinking like, something I read somewhere said documentation is needed. I don't know what that is, so give it to me. Well, that's just dumb, okay? That's the dumb, right? It's like dumb, uneducated, dumb, and jerk. Well, that was dumb, okay? Because they try to educate themselves, they're just dumb. So the Code of Federal Regulations says that supervisors should not wait for supporting documentation before submitting your CA1 or 2. They have no right to anything. What it says is that you should, or your doctor should, submit documentation within 30 days of filing your CA1 or 2. No problem. That's getting done. You go to federal injury centers, and the doctors will write your narrative and get it submitted by econ. But your supervisors have no right to wait on it. So when they do, what happens is they violate the law that says they have 10 days to turn it into DOL from the day you do your part. So when that happens, file a grievance, okay? Because they didn't turn your documentation in. Call OSHA, 1-800-321-OSHA, and ask, is it a safety violation for my supervisor to not let me file my work injury claim by turning it into DOL? See what they say. Don't wait on medical documentation, supervisors, because here's what I know about OSHA, speaking of the Woodshed night. When OSHA shows up, they bring their own 2x4s. They check everything, not just the one thing. They check everything. Everything. Okay? So just don't do that to yourself. No supervisor wants OSHA showing up to your office asking questions. Just fill out the forms and turn them in. Come on, man. All right, I'll pause. I'm 2/3 of the way through. What other questions do we have now?
Okay. I just want to let you guys know again, those of you that are jumping on, we have Emmy. She's one of our case managers, and she is, you guys are on here, she is one of the girls that is well trained. Yeah. Just as good as Chris giving you an answer. And she's answering questions. The ones that I don't answer, she's answering, because I'm trying to get like the major ones out so even the people on YouTube and social media can hear. But if it's anything personal, Emmy's answering. Then you got Ron on there answering, and Jerry.
But don't forget, if you're in Pennsylvania, you can call Ron. If you're not in Pennsylvania, you can call us. Ron gets to go to sleep at night. And thank you, Jerry, for helping. Jerry is incredible. Incredible. If you're a roll carrier and you're not communicating with Jerry, you're not knowing stuff.
Jerry, you should run for national president.
Oh my God, that would be a dream come true. She's incredible. I love Jerry Gatewood.
Melinda Grand Prix said, what if your union doesn't file grievances on your behalf?
File them yourself. So what I recommend you do is read your contract, which isn't fun. I've read a couple of them. And I know it's not fun, but you got to find out what it takes to file a grievance and do it, okay? Some of you have special forms you have to fill out, but just do it. I don't want you to get beat up because you didn't fight for yourself. Fight for yourself. Nobody cares more about you than you do, period. So fight for yourself. Make it happen. If you got to file it yourself, file it yourself. Many people on here would file it for you. So if there's somebody here that can help you, I'm sure there's plenty of people here that'll help. At least point you in the right direction on how to do it. That's what we're all here for. We're here to all work together. We're all in this together.
Sheila said, okay, in Houston, the supervisor tells you have to go on eComp to file your CA1 or CA2, and you have to send it to the right area, which there are areas. So how do employees know which area they're in?
Like where to send stuff?
Yeah, like, you know how when they submit it, it's supposed to be submitted and your supervisor is supposed to get it. You need your supervisor's email.
So everything now is supposed to be done on eComp, ecomp.dol.gov. So either you submit it, your supervisor, or your doctor, but it should all go on eComp, which means it'll get to the right place. But in the olden days, before eComp was the rule on the new CA10, I would say go to Google and search OWCP district offices. And then from there, you'll get a link, you'll click, and you'll see a map, and you can click on your state, and you'll have a phone number you can call. So there's always that too. Talk amongst yourselves.
Because the questions are being answered.
Who's that? Emmy,
Ron, and
Jerry.
Yeah.
Wow. So there's so many other people on here answering questions now. I can just like take a break. So.
Lovely Hayes says, how do I call in if I'm off work and approved case?
Okay, so all federal agencies have like an 800 number. They're all different numbers. Sorry, I've never had to call them because I'm not a federal employee. But there's a number you call to let someone know you're going to be out of work. And I had a state union president in Florida tell me, be sure everyone calls that number because it's one way to protect yourself. So find the number. If someone's on here, it helps to know what your agency is. And when someone hears what your agency is, there's likely someone else here who knows the number. So let us know what agency you're with.
Connie says, I'm supposed to elect 049 for time off for surgery/recovery. What is this and how do I do this?
Okay, so this is another one. The 049 is not an OWCP code, it's an agency specific code. So I'm going to need someone who's with your agency to help you out. So let us know what agency you're with, and someone here will help you.
Maria said, what if the postmaster and supervisor, after relying on your claim, retires? What is the recourse?
Well, I mean, they're already out, so they can't be fired. The recourse is your doctor needs to do a good job to explain how they told an untruth. Get the claim accepted. The best thing you can do is just win. These people that are retired, them being penalized, hurts them, but it doesn't help you.
Yeah.
So I care more about helping you. So find a doctor who can overcome that and win.
Where does this question go? A lot of employees know nothing about computers. What do you do when they tell you have to file your accident on eComp? Tell them to go sit with you and help you.
This is where I get a coworker, a union steward. I get a union rep to help me because I think that's what you pay dues for. If I'm wrong, then somebody here who's a union rep will tell me, but I think I'm right. Just get some help. Look, your union brothers and sisters want to help you. I know for sure they want to help you. I've never seen a more motivated group of people than union members that will help each other. So just go get some help. I know somebody wants to help you.
Jackie Bush said, so the work comp doctor I've been seeing suggested that if I get denied a third time, I should try to use my own health insurance to get a reevaluation.
Nope.
I understand that my case has been denied, but how or which doctor will take this? And it's Jackie Bush.
All right, so Jackie, I pray to God that's not one of my doctors, but if it is, please tell me. I'll correct that. I'm guessing it's not because we will do an unlimited number of reconsiderations. So if your claim is still denied, we need to see your denial letter and your last narrative report so we can see why they're denying it, and we could fix that. The only way we can't fix it is if you report it in greater than 3 years, or if it's not a legitimate claim, like you got hurt at home cooking dinner or something. Okay, and I'm not saying that that's what happened, but those are the only two ways I couldn't get a claim approved. It's not timely and it's not legitimate. If it's a timely file legitimate claim, it should be approved. If it's been denied 3 times, we got to look at the doctor's narrative reports. They're doing something wrong.
Okay, so if any of you are in NALC and you're having issues with your union president, and I'm only speaking for NALC.
Or not for them, but to them.
Yeah.
What?
Oh,
She
I
forgets
forgot.
stuff.
I have short-term memory loss. Yes. So if your union isn't helping, call your NBA.
Yeah.
Rural carriers, contact your district rep or contact national. If it comes down to no one is helping you and your union is telling you they have nothing to do with OWCP, which is kind of weird,
Call us.
call us or call your national, because there's always somebody like in the rural carriers, there's Devin Cassidy. NALC has a handful of NBA people
who are motivated to help.
Right, and so everybody has somebody. So don't think that it's over just because something bad is happening. Go to the next level.
Or call us.
Or call us, and we'll tell you exactly what to do.
877-787-OWCP. She answers the phone. If you get a message that says I'm on another call, that's because she's on another call. Respond by text. She's going to help you.
Yeah, and a lot of you, because you call me and you have my texts, please don't give my cell phone number out. Yeah, just call the 877 number. Because I had somebody call me at 2:30 in the morning from, I was going to say Norway, from Iowa.
So 2:30 in the morning is awfully late or early. We do like to sleep sometimes.
Yeah, 2:30 in the morning. Christina. Hi, Christina, TSA.
Oh, what's up? From Tampa?
Yeah.
All right.
Christina said, I help my coworkers whenever possible, even on my own time, but eComp is a very simple website too.
Yeah, she's right, man. eComp is... So, I don't know. I think OWCP might have been messing with people by saying, oh, you got to use your computer. But actually, it's super helpful because all your documents are stored there. I like eComp. I want to file something on it. I'm not sure what I want it to do more. To file an eComp or to file a grievance.
So I'm not going to give my cell phone number out. I'll give you the 877 number because, tomorrow I'm going to wake up and there's going to be like 1,000 messages and stuff like that.
877-787-6927, which is OWCP. And that goes to her cell. So, look, obviously, you all understand why we're not putting her cell number out, for the world, because we're going to get like 10 million people in China calling her.
Maria said, I asked the union to invite you to our meeting. Can I say I didn't like the answer? It's okay. Not everyone's going to want us to come, and we understand. I
could do an entire hour. No, we don't understand. We know why. We don't like it.
Yeah, so we understand.
I could do an entire hour on why someone would not invite me, but ultimately their reasoning would be flawed. What's happened is, I'm just going to address it. There was a group before us called Team Work Ready. If you've heard of Team Work Ready, hit the mad face because they don't deserve anything but mad faces. So if you've heard of Team Work Ready, just like blow up your mad face button. If you haven't, there's a mad face. There's a bunch of mad faces, yeah. If you haven't, ask your union why they're not inviting us to teach. Because the chances are is that they were burned by Team Work Ready, who committed fraud in every way possible. In fact, we have a compliance manual. All of our doctors, just keep hitting the mad faces. Don't stop hitting mad faces. It actually is like, those mad faces are the theme song to this story. So we have a compliance manual. All of our officers are required to read. And there's a section in there that's called federal enforcement, or for the Department of Justice. And they're required to read, among other things, what Team Work Ready did wrong, okay? And what Team Work Ready did wrong was basically all in the category of common sense. And, such assholes. Okay, look, what they did was they set OWCP back decades. Because of all the crap they did, now your union reps don't want to work with people like me who have just you at my heart, okay? It's so hard for unions, and I don't blame them, okay? Like, they were burned. They were burned bad. They were lit on fire like a California forest fire in the summertime, okay? That's what Team Work Ready did to unions. They lit everything on fire, and they destroyed OWCP. And so now people like me, which, by the way, there's nobody like me, but we're trying to get in there and help, and just help. And we have done everything we can to make it clean and, fun and relaxing or whatever your union people need. Compliant, compliant. And so you all know that we're compliant. We don't ask for money from anybody, ever, period. Our doctors make all their own medical decisions, not me, because I'm not one. And we don't bill anything that didn't happen. If you didn't show up, we don't say you did. You know, we don't accept kickbacks. We don't give kickbacks. You know, nothing like that. Period. But your union still have trouble because of their bad experience in the past with people I don't know. Again, anyways, I could go on a rant. I could spend an hour on Teamwork Ready. In fact, I should go visit them in like the Houston prison, which is probably where they're at, just to tell them thanks, assholes. Because now, because of you, you know, people aren't getting help because everyone else is scared to get the help. Don't be scared to get the help.
I'm going to read something from Dr. Cooper. He is our Phoenix City and Atlanta Forest Park doctor.
And we love Dr. Cooper.
He said, I sent this earlier, but I hope this helps. Schedule awards are awesome, but you need to be at MMI. I'm getting a lot of calls and noticing that the diagnosis many people have are minor and will be a low impairment rating.
Yeah.
When I see this, we spend more time getting a proper diagnosis. The one I have now, the difference is 7% impairment, which is huge.
That's a big difference.
Doctors who want to help will take the time to make sure you weren't underdiagnosed to get the claim accepted, but it hurts you in the end. So take note of that, guys, what he said.
Yeah. And Dr. Cooper, thanks for being on. I should have said that. The Teamwork Ready thing really throws me off.
I know.
You want to see me get pissed off? Let me sit at my desk where I'm at right now. I'm above the desk. And walk into my office and say Teamwork Ready. Anyways.
You can get a CA7 and fill them out, but you cannot turn them in until your claim is accepted.
Right.
And again, you must attach, a lot of you are messaging me and calling, I got my CA7 denied, because you need to attach those 4 things. Not that we know that it's 100% accurate, but the people that have been doing it have been getting their CA7s approved.
Sheila said, the 2 men you're talking about at Teamwork Ready is serving their 55 years. They were friends of mine. Sheila, if that offended you, I promise you that wasn't my intent. If those are friends of yours, they're not friends of mine. You know, my friends are all the people watching here who want help and can't get it because people that need the help are scared to ask because of what Teamwork Ready did. I just tell the truth on this page. It doesn't always feel good. Not that you are offended, but if you are, I apologize in advance. You're not one of them. So I just leave it at that.
Melissa, you can fill out your CA7s, but you cannot send them or e-comp them to DOL till your claim is accepted, because they will send it back and tell you that it's denied.
Yeah.
All right.
I got more stuff here.
I know.
We're never going to get through Woodshed Night. Look, I could just ignore that I have like 7 more things here, but there's a lot of stuff here I need to get to.
Francis Locke said, what happens if our orthopedic doctor, who was originally working with other doctors to get on board, trained with Federal Interest Centers, decides not to work with this company to get my case approved? I mean, I have been going for treatment for months with a chiropractor who is aligned with this company.
That's really vague. I'm not sure what you're talking about. But send us a message. We'd be happy to help. But we don't have orthopedic surgeons in the franchise. We just help orthopedic surgeons help you. So I'm not sure who you're referring to, but I'd like to know. Anything else?
I turned in my CA7s in before it was approved. Well, it was approved, then closed and reopened, then approved. Huh.
That sounds like a roller coaster, but I'm glad it's closed, reopened, and now approved. That's good. That just ends up sounding really good. Okay, so I've got a few things more supervisors are doing wrong. It's just important that you all know and that they know. Again, they're probably not watching, so let them know. CA17s, supervisors, what comes first, A or B? Help them out.
C.
No, seriously, help them out. They don't know.
A.
A comes before B. So the CA17 is divided in half. Side A says supervisor. Side B says physician. It has to start with the supervisor at the agency, okay? And what we need is for the supervisors to fill the CA17 out and give it to the patient or to you and take it to your doctor. So your doctor can fill out side B and give it back to the supervisor. That's the whole story. Like, supervisor do A, you take it to doctor, doctor do B, take it back to supervisor. 4 steps, the end. Well, supervisors say I don't have to do that. All right. So, look, the doctor's got to protect your job. And the best way to protect your job is with a CA-17. That way they can write restrictions that prevent you from lifting things that make you get hurt, worse, or whatever your restrictions are. So when I tell my doctors in training, and some of my staff doesn't like this, but they're my staff, so I train it anyways, is called the black Sharpie technique. So what I tell my offices to do is take a black Sharpie and on side A say, supervisor refused to provide a CA-17. So the reason I do that is because the doctor's got to fill out side B no matter what. They've got to protect your job. And it's going to get turned into the supervisor, to the claims examiner, and to a case manager, and who knows who else is going to see it. But somebody's going to ask, why wasn't side A filled out? My policy in life is always tell the truth. So the truth is the supervisor refused to provide a CA-17. It'll be the last time the supervisor refuses to provide a CA-17. It's the black Sharpie. All right, next, controverting pay. Who knows here that on a CA1 form on the second page, box 36, which is the last box on second page, says, if you intend to controvert continuation of pay, state your reason here. Controverting continuation of pay means they intend for you not to get paid for your time off. Don't you want to know that's happening? If you're not going to get paid your 45 days of time off, don't you want to know you're going to be sitting at home and not getting paid? So when they don't give you the second page of the CA1, that's what happens. You don't know, okay? So demand copies. But supervisors, give me a freaking break. Look, when someone's hurt, you got to let them have COP. They got a CA1. They reported within 30 days. They are, by law, eligible for COP. But when supervisors say, well, my knowledge of the facts of the claim don't agree, or this isn't due to willful misconduct, or intent to injure themselves, or not in performance of duty, it's all usually crap. It's crap, and it prevents you from getting paid. So you, as the employee, have to get your second page and look at the last question on the second page and see if they're going to controvert COP. My staff, even the receptionist, okay, they're trained to look for box 36 and tell you if your supervisor said that. Because too many of you don't read your box 36. You don't know. You got bored after page 1, I guess. And you get through halfway of page 2, you're like, oh gosh, I can't believe I have to keep reading this. But the last question on the page says you're not getting paid. So supervisors, don't be such a jerk. Imagine if it's you, and in my third book, and in the second book even, and probably the first, I say, what if it's you? Because we know supervisors that got hurt. We know them. And when you get hurt, it's all fun and games until it's you. Mm-hmm. Who's going to controvert your pay? Nobody, because you're in management. So don't do that. Let people get paid for their time off. Here's my experience with federal employees. They want to go to work. They want to make it to retirement. They want to do a good job. They don't want to have problems with you. Don't controvert pay. All right, next. CA-17 restrictions. Supervisors, follow the damn restrictions. When the doctor says no lifting more than 25 pounds, that does not mean have someone lift 30 pounds. You're not a doctor. You don't have a medical license. You have no authority to overrule a medical doctor. You've got to follow the restrictions. And when you can't, your employee should go home, should not go to work, should tell their doctor that this is happening. They should probably be taken off of work because what you're going to do is get them hurt. Okay? So if you're the employee who the supervisor is not following your restrictions, you need to call OSHA because that is damn sure a safety violation. Because you're not safe if you're lifting 50 pounds when your doctor says you can only lift 20. You need to contact employee assistance because maybe your supervisor can get talked to by a counselor. I don't know. And file a grievance because you're going to get hurt. Supervisors, you're going to get hurt, okay? Because you're going outside of you're not staying in your lane. Let's stay in your lane. You're not a doctor. Your whole job is to just follow the restrictions. Follow restrictions, jerk.
Yeah, Kimberly Aaron said they don't care.
Well, that's why I say they don't care. I agree. That's why I say contact OSHA, 1-800-321-OSHA, and say, my claim's accepted, my doctor wrote restrictions, my supervisor won't follow my doctor's medical restrictions. Is that a violation of safety? Yes. 1-800-321-OSHA. So I have 4 more things, but I'm going to let you ask some questions
There
first.
isn't any.
What?
They're just listening.
No more questions?
Not yet.
Freaking great. Okay. All right, I'm going to skip around on these last four because I kind of added these at the last minute. All right, CA2As. So there's a thing called a notice of recurrence. Many of you have an injury that was approved and it got better, and then later on it got worse. Like it came back. Your supervisors almost always say you need to file a recurrence, a CA2A. Don't do that yet. Supervisors don't tell people to file a recurrence. You're not a doctor. You don't know what's wrong with them. So I use this all the time. I have 2 blown out ACLs that are totally reconstructed. If the ACL goes like this, there's a PCL that goes behind it in the knee. If my knee's hurting, how do I know which one of these ligaments it is? I have an ACL injury. When my knee hurts, I don't know if it's a PCL or not. The same goes for you. Like the shoulder's got all kinds of stuff going on. The hips have tons of stuff going on. The spine has, disc, ligaments, tendons, muscles. There's all kinds of stuff happening in there. So don't automatically file a recurrence. Go to your doctor and find out what's up. Get some more imaging, get an evaluation from your doctor, and make sure it's not the same thing. If it's the same thing as before, file a recurrence, a CA2A. If it's not, you're going to file a new CA1 or a new CA2 depending on how your injury happened. But supervisors, don't just tell people to file a 2A. The vast majority of 2As get denied because they're not 2As. They're new stuff. So stop telling people that. Don't tell people to file a CA2A. Supervisors, tell your people to go to the doctor and find out what's wrong. And then act according to what the doctor recommends. CA1, CA2, or CA2A. It could be either one. But we got to see what the doc says. Anything else?
Melinda said, what can I do about them having me do clerk work when I'm a CCA?
Well, okay, look, if they're giving you work that you can clock in and do, go do it. What's happening is you're a CCA, and, they may not want you to be a clerk. But that's the clerk's issues with your union, you just got to do what you got to do. I understand that the unions sometimes butt heads, and I don't take sides. I love you all. But when they give you work to do, you got to do it. I would say to the other unions, the other crafts, take it easy. Imagine if it's you and you just want to clock in. I think all 4 postal unions should find a way to work together, because carriers get assigned clerk jobs. Handlers get assigned clerk jobs. Clerk jobs get assigned desk jobs. Like janitors get this and carriers get that. Just take a break. You're all trying to just get paid and get through the next day. That's my position on it. I respect unions, so I understand you all have to fight for your craft, and I hope you will fight to the fullest extent. But just understand that the other crafts are struggling like you are, and sometimes you're going to have to help out a little bit, I think, because management is winning as long as the 4 of you are fighting against each other.
Carol says, is it just as bad when management won't work you when there is plenty of available work within your restrictions?
Well, that is. That's an EEO claim, so now I'm scratching this off. Let's say that you've got a claim and, your doctor's written restrictions and your manager can find a job for you and they refuse to. Are they treating you fairly? Look, you're now a protected class. You have, technically, through the federal world, a disability. You're disabled from the job you were doing. But they can write restrictions. So you need to call EEO and find out, because they have counselors that they'll let you talk to, and ask, is this a violation? Are they treating me unfairly? Do I have an equal employment opportunity claim? That's where I would go next.
Renee Marie said, Francis Locke, like I said, that elite orthopedic group in Brevard County, I don't know who they are. We don't know any.
They may be great, but we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know the orthos.
And we don't promote offices we didn't train. No offense to them. It's just I'm here for you, not them. And if I didn't train them, there's a real good chance they're not going to do a good job for you.
Okay, Renee said, have you determined a way to make the CA-17 more accurate? When management fills it out, they put things for RCAs for 1 to 3 days, 8 hours a day, but with the position you can work 1 to 7 days a week, 2 to 12 hours plus, and figuring out how long you're doing any single thing nearly impossible. When management gives a low number, the doctor says, yes, you're cleared to go to work, and then management puts you in for double or more and endangers the employees because they were cleared to work by the doctor.
Let me stop you. I'm going to stop you.
That was it.
Oh, I stopped her at the end. All right, so look, if your manager, regardless of your position, if they write something in Side A that is not correct, take it to your union and have a union rep go to your manager and say, fix it. Your doctor relies on the manager putting accurate information so that they can accurately write restrictions. Don't allow a CA-17 to go to your doctor with inaccurate information without first going to your union and getting help. Your union is motivated to help you have the right information on that side A, because everyone's going to have that problem. If you're having the problem, they're all going to have the problem. So take it to your union, get a rep to help you. Your union reps, by and large, are motivated to help. Okay, so I have a couple more things here I want to deal with, and I'm going to... Anyways, demands to pay back COP. So many of you get a letter from your agency saying you got, out of 45 continuation of pay days, you took X number of days, all the way up to 45. Your claim's not approved, so you owe our money back. We want our COP back. So imagine you're somebody that got 45 days of time off, your claim's denied, and your agency says, pay us back. Who's got 45 days in their bank account ready to pay?
Not me.
No, I know people that said I put it in there just in case. Well, I'm glad you're able to, but most of us can't. If someone asked me for 45 days of pay, I'd be in trouble, and most of you would too. So you have appeal rights, and most of you are gonna, because you're listening to us, are gonna file reconsideration. You have 12 months from every denial to file reconsideration, which means your claim is not finally adjudicated. It's in appeal status, and you can appeal an infinite number of times. So when you get a letter from your agency saying you have to pay back COP, you need to show them proof that you have appealed your claim and that it is not finally adjudicated. You will need help with your union for this, because you should not have to pay back time that ultimately you would not have to pay back because your claim gets approved. Claims get denied all the time. Even we get claims, no, look, I'll be consistent. We get claims denied. But then we're able to read the denial letter, fix it, and get the claim approved. Most doctors won't, right? They'll just say, oh, your claim's denied, you're screwed. Not us, so we get it approved. Well, in that process, you should not have to pay back your COP. That's important, so be sure you're not. I'm going to combine these last two together, so if you have more questions, go ahead and ask them. Because my, at 4th of July, there's the grand finale where all the fireworks blow up at once. Hello?
Yeah, I'm reading.
So where all the fireworks will blow up at once, I'm going to do that in a second. You're about to get my grand finale. We're at 13 minutes to go. I'm going to hold on to these last two.
Carol Jarman said, what is the place? Because I was going there in 2019, and when COVID hit, Dr. Sue stopped. If it's her...
Is that Houston? Yeah, we're not, it's not Dr. On.
No, it's not Dr. It's not her.
I know her. She's a really nice lady who had a very unfortunate situation happen, but it's not her.
Sharon said, I had to pay my COP back with leave benefits. I'm now retired and still fighting the 2017 fall at the office.
I mean, imagine, Sharon, if your claim gets accepted later and you already paid back COP, how the heck are you going to get that back? Because it was your right to have it. I hate that. All right, grand finale. Wait, somebody just came up. Anything in there?
No, it's Victor.
If union sucks, like you said, get up and stand up and fight. Man, Victor.
He's right. This is why we tell you. When you guys... We're hearing a lot of rumors about people are going to be talking to National during their conventions.
Which is fine, whatever. That's what you're there for. You have a right to speak.
You guys are the members, and we want to make sure that you guys know we're not telling you to go to your national or your state president and say, Gini and Chris said they should come and teach. If they want us to, it's
but we
different.
We should.
And I'm telling you, this training is... I don't know what to say. All the people that have had the training before, we've upped it a little bit more now. And
if you've all had the training and you're on Facebook, hit the love button a bunch of times and let people know if you liked it, if you thought it was any good at all.
We started training maybe about 3 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago.
I started training in 2007.
Well, no, to unions.
No, in 2007 I was training local unions. I've been training unions since 2007. I've never had bad results. Everyone that I train understands, gets claims accepted. People that don't get trained, you suffer. And it's not fair. You shouldn't have to suffer. I understand you all have OWCP reps in your unions, and I respect them. In fact, I appreciate them. I'd like to take them all out for beers. Truthfully. No, hold on. I'm sorry. Truthfully, I would love that. I'd like to be best friends with all of them. I am not the enemy of those people. I am not an alternative for them. they're good. They're needed. You need more of them. But until you get more of them, you got me. And I'm going to keep doing this until they make me stop, and then I'll probably keep doing it under a pseudonym.
I'm just curious, how many of you are going to be talking to your state president or at your national convention or your state convention about us? Just curious.
Hit the like button.
Just hit the like button. Let me see if there's people that are, because I've gotten a ton of texts and emails that I've been showing Chris about what people have been saying when they go to their national convention. So I always want to know who's going to be talking about us, because we know our name is out there. I mean, we are nationwide. So.
But be careful. Don't get yourself in trouble.
Oh, look at this.
We love you. We love your union leadership.
Jacob Clark.
Your presidents are friends of ours for the most part, short of maybe one, and you know who you are. But like, we love and respect the unions, and so much. Like, I'm telling you all the time, go join the union, go get involved in the union, go get help from the union. I understand that I have a place and they have a place. They need to understand they have a place and I have a place, and my place is in support of them, nothing more.
Here's one thing though, and I just saw Victor's name show up, that Victor can come on in a couple of weeks and tell you, when we go there,
I'm interviewing him.
We don't say, go to Federal Energy Centers, go to Federal Energy Centers. We tell you different ways to find a location wherever you are.
Yeah, in fact, if it's somebody else in direct competition with us, I say go. Go. Because if it doesn't work out, you're going to call me anyways. I want you to choose your own doctors. It's very important. You get my help regardless of your doctor. I don't care who your doctor is. In fact, I don't even need to know. It doesn't matter to me. I just want to help.
Yeah. We go in, we take pamphlets. Chris, he goes over all the important forms that you will need to know and understand while you are working with USPS or AFGE or any other agency. And by the time he's done, we get so many people. We get a lot of presidents that come to us and say, wow, that was a great presentation. Like the last one we just did in Illinois. I mean, we had so many people that Chris didn't even know, even from that's running for national, that came up and said, wow, that was a great presentation. We need more of this. So all we're there is just training you on what to do when you get injured. Nothing else. We're not telling you, hey, go to Federal Injury Centers. We don't do that at all.
Don't even care.
Yeah.
Like, that's up to you. Whatever.
Now, if we're in a state that has Federal Injury Centers clinics, we'll just bring brochures, and we bring Wednesday night chats. We bring pens. That's it. We don't say, here's our offices. This is where you need to go.
And you got to go, otherwise I'm done teaching. None of that.
And we
ever.
still help you.
That'd be ridiculous.
Even if you go to a doctor that's our competitor nationwide anywhere and they're not helping you, you can always call us and we will help you.
Yeah.
That's it. We don't do anything else. We don't train you on anything else but what to do when you get hurt at work.
All right, so we have like 8 minutes left, and I know there might be more questions, and
I'll go through them.
She'll look at them. I want to handle the last couple of things. I have 2 more things. Let me tell you what they are. One of them is called harassment/threats. If you've ever been harassed or threatened by your supervisor due to a work injury, can I see an angry face? Because I'd like everyone else to know that they're not the only ones this happens to. If this happened to you, that you were harassed or threatened because of a work injury, would you just hit an angry face? I want everyone to see they're not the only ones. Because people think all the time, I'm the only one this happens to. And they're trying, the supervisors are trying their best to prevent you from doing this. It's almost like as if, wink, wink, they get a bonus for preventing work injuries, being filed. And I'm not saying that's the case. I don't work there. But I know it happens, and so many of you tell me about it all the time. In my second book, I write about horror stories. People don't report their injuries because they're scared of their supervisors. And so I've got a harassment and threats, and I've got another one. And what I wrote, my last thing, was being a jerk overall. So this is what I would call my grand finale, my 4th of July, where I just let all the rest of my fireworks go at one time. So I come from a management background. I have a master's degree in management. I have a background of 25 plus years of managing a lot of people. I have a verified history of less than 5% turnover because my staff likes working for me. They like working for me because I come from a place where I say love everybody. And when you love everybody, you can only treat people good because you would never treat somebody bad that you don't love. So my policy is love everyone, okay? Your supervisors don't have that policy, and so this message is for them. I've written in both of my first books, and I wrote double in my third book to supervisors about how to be good at your job. You know, I wrote about the Peter principle, which is essentially when someone is promoted to a point of incompetence, they peter out, you know? I didn't come up with this, by the way. I wish I would have. It's that bad ass. But the Peter principle, you know, I talk about, you know, not loving your people. And there's a book called Good to Great by Jim Collins where he says, you know, what you need to do is look in the mirror for failure and look out the window for success. Because when you have success, they did that. When you failed, it's because you did something wrong and they followed you. You know, supervisors, it's your fault. You know, when something goes wrong, you did that. When your people are scared to get help, it's your fault. So they don't get help. So you don't get them back. And so they leave. And so you have this constant churning turnover, which is expensive. You know, I had a union president in this state who said that, you know, the cost of turnover for his agency far exceeded the cost of treatment for the injury. Which means, supervisors, you idiots, you are costing your agency money by giving people a hard time. You gotta let people just get better. And harassing, you know, there are laws against this. You're not allowed to harass and threaten and fire people. It's a crime to penalize someone or punish or threaten for filing a work injury. OSHA says it's a crime for not letting someone report their injury. You know, it's one of their employee rights. You know, you're breaking the law. You know, you're breaking the law, which Beavis and Butthead's in my head. Breaking the law, breaking the law. But anyway, it's not funny. But these supervisors are like Beavis and Butthead. They're that damn stupid.
They are Beavis and Butthead.
Just idiots. You know, being a jerk doesn't help you. Like, you can go to your, like, supervisor meeting and go, look at me, you know, look, I was mean to someone and, you know, I made him cry. Well, you're just a jerk. You know, what did you do? You didn't help anybody. You didn't help your agency. You know, you think you helped your agency? You have a shortage now in your, you know, your carriers are, there's not enough of them. There's not enough clerks. VA, there's not enough nurses. TSA, there's not enough agents screening because, you know, they're at home and or you fired them. You idiots. You got to be nice to people. You have to treat people with respect. You have to know the laws. Follow the rules. Follow the laws. Have some compassion. Look, I hope one day it's you, and I hope somebody treats you like shit because you'll go, oh, that's what I've been doing? Yeah, that's what you've been doing. The number one reason people don't report their injuries is because they're nervous at best, you know? They're scared of you. They're worried about the ramifications of reporting a work injury. You know, we had a lady who argued with her saying, my supervisor's going to fire me. And she said, but they can't. I mean, obviously they can. It's just against the law to do it. So, you know, my big grand finale is supervisors, stop being such assholes. Like, there's a way to do this. I know that you got promoted to a point of incompetence. I know that you don't have a background like I do in management. You don't know how to lead people. You know, you probably in your high school on your sports team did water and not like quarterbacking. That's the way it was. Whatever. Like, you're not a leader, but you can learn. You can learn. You can try. You can make an effort. You can look at someone suffering and say, I'm going to help.
Yeah.
But you don't. You know, you don't help. You make the situation worse. You make everybody hate you. And when people hate you, they're not trying to get back to work to help you. You know, they don't care about you. Oh, your job is production. You're screwing your own production. You can't get as many particles out. You can't help as many patients. You can't screen as many passengers. You can't do as many of whatever it is you're trying to do because your people hate you and not showing back up. They're like, you know what? I'm hurt. Screw you. But you know what? I managed a bunch of people, hundreds and hundreds of people over a 20-year period. I never have anybody say, I'm not showing back up. They came to work because they were loved. They were loved, and you don't do that, and that's your problem. So I'm going to leave it at that, but for the rest of you, the non-supervisors and my three over here that do love people, those supervisors, remember, that wasn't for you. I love you too. But the rest of you, you got to fight back. If you, allow me to say this, contact OSHA, 1-800-321-OSHA. File EEO complaints, eeoc.gov or eeo.gov, whatever. You'll figure it out. It's just one letter. File a grievance because your unions are powerful. If you're not involved with your union, get that way, okay? If your unions aren't fighting for you, go up the ladder. Somebody wants to. Believe me, somebody wants to help. Go to employee assistance because sometimes they're helpful. OIG or Department of Justice and Congress. You know what? Call your congressperson. Don't get screwed over. And in my last book, that we're all in this together, one thing that I hit home is that you have to fight for yourself. No matter what, fight for yourself. Do not lay down. Do not take no for an answer. Do not lose, okay? You were born to win. You have the law on your side. You have us on your side. And for the most part, your unions are there. And when your supervisors aren't, we are. So we all take them out behind the woodshed. They get their 2x4 moments. And by the way, don't use actual violence. I'm using metaphors. I've never hit anybody with a 2x4, so don't do that. But the proverbial 2x4, give them the laws. All right? Show them what they're doing wrong. Say, what are you going to do when you write a false statement and they come for you? Then what? What are you going to do when you prevent me from filing a work injury and they come for you? Then what? Because they don't think of what's next. The then what is what they should be scared of. And you all have the power to bring the then what to their ass. And that's all I got. Hello?
Hold on. So, the one he was talking about, what Chris was talking about, where this lady was arguing with me, it's really sad because it's more and more like there's one spouse that's working and the other spouse is terminally ill, cancer, COVID, whatever, and can't. And she's that scared to file her claim because she keeps saying, I was told you're wrong and I'm going to get fired if I file my claim. She injured herself and messed up her shoulder where she needs surgery currently. She's trying to care for her sick husband who has cancer. This is not the first time we hear about this, or the third, and it's not the last. And I kept telling her to file her claim. She refused. So she's on all these different Facebook sites asking, what does she need to do? What does she need to do? And everybody's telling her, contact Gini and Chris. And I just stopped talking to her because she thought I was picking at her and thought I was lying.
And we're not picking at you. We love you. We're just trying to give you the right information.
Yeah, I'm not lying. File your claim. I told her how to do it on eComp. I told her to even call me. She was scared to call me. That's another thing. She was too scared to call me. She says that I don't realize that they're following her. Well, I can't help you with that. You know, I told her, go to your union. She says, union's in bed with management, blah, blah, blah.
I don't know, maybe not, but you know what? You can't be scared. Somebody asked Ron Speakman how he feels about being scared about this. Ask that. Somebody ask it.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure he's about to give the answer. And Ron, be as colorful as you want to be. Open forum. Don't care. Look, Ron's a friend of mine. I'm just going to say this. He's a really good friend of mine. And he's been through it. Nobody's been through what he's been through. And if you have, I feel sorry. I'm sorry that you went through that. But Ron's coming out on the other side, and it's because he fought back. Because he didn't take it.
He fought a lot.
He fought everything. Like, he fought in ways that most of you couldn't imagine. So never, ever stop fighting for yourself. Ever. Never stop fighting for yourself. I'll never stop fighting for you. Most of you have union reps that will fight to the death for you. So you got to fight for yourself. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. And I used to have this calendar, a desk calendar when I was in high school. And it was a sports calendar. And it was quotes, sports quotes. And there was this college football coach, I can't remember who. But his quote was, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. I just hope it's not a gorilla with a flashlight.
Oh boy.
I'm telling you, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and it is not a gorilla with a flashlight, okay? The light is law. The light is, this is what you do to win. So be with us. We're going to help you win.
I'm going to read this question real quick by Richard Bailey. He said, my supervisor put me in for sick leave on the day for which I filed a CA-7. I had filed the slip for LWOP. My postmaster then approved my CA-7 through eComp. Now what do I do? I can no longer resend the CA-7 because she approved the email from eComp. So I got paid for the day, and now OWCP is going to pay me as well. What do I do?
What do you think? Because I got to reread it. My supervisor put me in for sick leave on the day for which I filed a CA-7. I filed a slip for LOP, OWCP. My postmaster then approved my CA-7. Now what do I do? Can I rescind the CA7? All right, so all of this is like procedural. You get COP for 45 days, continuation of pay, when you have a CA1 claim that you report within 30 days. If your claim's not approved by the end of the 45 days, you can't file LWOP. It doesn't matter what your supervisor says. Like, they don't get to approve or disapprove. LWOP is what you get when you're out of work for a valid work injury that's approved. So the key is that your claim's approved, your doctor gives you your 4 pieces of documentation, you attach it to your CA7, and you fill the CA7 out perfectly, and you turn it in. But your claim has to be approved first, and nothing that was there screamed, my claim's approved. It just said, like, my supervisor's doing some stuff, and they're likely to screw you over.
Francis Locke said, can you decide not to go back to your position if you feel it would cause further injury?
You can decide not to go back, but then your options are going to be very limited. Very, very limited. You know, you can stay out on OWCP, but not forever. You could end up on federal disability, which by year 2, you're making 40% of your income. But you could also get another non-federal job for another 80%. Or you can get better and get back to work. But it gets real tough if you're out forever. That's just hard because they got rules that will prevent that.
Martha said, there's a clerk that thought her shoulder and chest were hurting from getting a COVID vaccine. She was told that there was no issues with her heart. She said she feels she hurt herself on the job. Is she able to file a CA1 at this point, or what should she do?
Well, it's a CA1 if she thinks what she did was in a single shift. It's a CA2 if she thinks it developed over time. If she truly believes and her doctor agrees it's related to the CA or to the COVID, then that can be covered under her CA1 COVID claim.
I like what, where did it go? Victor said, if you're a steward and afraid of management, you're in the wrong job.
Man, I like everything Victor said tonight.
I love it.
Victor, come back next week too, please.
Yeah. Sheila says, what determines if you get automatic pay every 28 days?
Well, that's periodic roll, and you got to make sure your claims examiner's got you listed as that, and then you don't have to turn in CA7s all the time.
All right, guys, so it's 10:06. We did a little over 2 hours, but we're going to close off with everything, and if there's any questions that we haven't answered, I'll go back and recheck them. I want to show you guys, this is, here, let me show people on YouTube, and let me show people on Facebook. That's our calendar. That's for April. In 1 week, we go from Virginia to Utah to Texas to Tampa in 1 week.
And a night in Vegas.
And then, well, that's 4 states. And then the following week, we go from Florida to Texas to Jacksonville. So, our schedule is all booked for April so far. May has some things going on. We will be at, Chris is training for APW in Jacksonville, because some of you are asking, on the 27th from 9:30 to 12. We will also be doing May 1st, the Jacksonville APW steward training. So we're going to be putting those out. And if anybody knows Dr. Harper,
in Birmingham and Montgomery, Alabama.
He is opening his 3rd clinic in Huntsville, Alabama. We're so excited.
Dr. Harper is a killer.
That
guy is going to get your claims accepted. Yeah, he's like, all right, look, I've done it here, I'm doing it someplace else. So if you're in Huntsville in May 19, 20, and 21, our plan is to be in Huntsville, so we'd like to see you. Yeah, Huntsville, Alabama.
What we want to do is a little lunch and go. Invite stewards, members, presidents, any union official.
Anyone.
Have some lunch at the office, tour the office, just come in, come out, and just see the office. I know there's a huge base out there. The VA, there's a lot of roll carriers out in Huntsville. There's a lot of everything. So we're going to put those dates out there. So we're going to be there for 2 days.
Tanya Ferry said, did you say Vegas? Yes, Tanya. I will see you in Vegas. We'll be there for 1 night, but I will not be there and not see you and your husband.
So we're open for May still, if anybody needs us to come to their state convention. We're open for June, except the week of June 20th through the 25th. It is the AFGE National Convention that we are going to be going. We don't know if we're going to have a table yet, and if we're training or anything like that.
But we'll be there.
But we're going to be there to say hi to all of our AFGE people that keep saying, I wish you guys were here in DC.
And if you want us there with the table and you want us to teach, let somebody know that has some authority there.
Yeah,
we'll be happy to do it. I love teaching.
And AFGE. And so from June, July, August...
Man, we're open during the summertime. Let's go.
September, October.
Anybody in Puerto Rico that wants some help?
So we stopped traveling from November. So we have from May to October 31st for you guys to get us in for your union trainings, your state conventions, and your national conventions.
And we'll say yes, as long as we're not already booked those days. We're flying from one place to another place, and before we come home, we're flying to another place, and then we're coming home. So we'll do whatever it takes as long as we're available that day.
So this is what you need to do. I just need an email, Gini@federalinjurycenters.com.
From a union leader,
From
like
a
president.
Union official, or if you are a steward and you've discussed it with them and they okayed it, I need them to be CC'd on there as well.
Yeah. We don't want to show up and then be
get in trouble.
uninvited for being there, because we respect the unions. If you don't mind me saying this, we respect the unions. We never show up when we're not invited officially. When we do show up, we bring the pain. We do everything it takes to get you educated on what you need. And your supervisors don't like it very much. But we don't want to show up without an official invite. So let's make sure it's official so we don't rub anybody the wrong way. We respect your union and we want to handle it, respectfully.
Okay, we pay for our own travel. We pay for our own hotel. Nothing comes out of the union's pocket. So... yes, we work. This is what we do for a living, so we make our money. So
but we have the franchise,
yeah.
And if you go there, that's fine. If you don't, we don't care.
Yeah, so that's how we get paid, for those of you that are asking. The training is 2 hours long, and
it's not a sales.
It's not a sales thing.
We're not selling Federal Injury Centers. You don't have to go there. We don't care. We're training you on OWCP and nothing else.
The only thing we tell you, that Chris tells you when he's up on stage, because I'm hiding at the bottom because I don't want people to see me, is we have the projection and we have Wednesday night chats up. That's just to show you to come here, and now we're going to add YouTube on there, to come here and get training.
Yep.
That's it. So
because you need it.
There's people in the audience, so where can we go? And Chris will say, okay, go to Google, and this is what you do. He tells you what to do.
OWCP injury doctor in your city and state.
Yeah, and he'll barely mention the franchise. That's it. Yes, we have franchises. Go on the website if you want to see where it is. That's it. We don't say anything more about the franchises.
It's not a sales tactic.
Right.
We're there to teach. People are like, oh, there's no way you want to do this. You have no freaking idea. I love doing this. I've been teaching this stuff for 20 years. I love doing this. What we got?
Do you both train the USPS union reps?
Yeah.
Yes, that's what we do. We train stewards. We train union members at a regular union meeting.
Never supervisors, because
Yeah.
they're still back behind the woodshed. They haven't really got their senses yet. They don't want to get taught.
We do state conventions, national conventions, and worldwide conventions. I'll make you Mr. 305. What is it, Mr. Worldwide? Yeah.
Don't ever say that again.
Mr. Worldwide. Mr. Statewide. The email is Gini, Gini, at federalinjurycenters.com. And if you want us to come to your union meeting, and I'm not being mean, and I'm just going to say it, if there's only 5 or 10 of you, it's
hard for us to go to that.
It's hard because we are paying for our travel.
We're paying, if I'm paying to go to you, I'm happy to do it, but I want to train a bunch of people.
Yeah.
I want to get maximum benefit for the money I'm spending to get there. So please, if I'm coming, pack the house. That's all I'm saying. Pack the house. I will show up. If I show up, there's 5 people, I'll still teach. I just won't like it that much because I realize I'm leaving a lot on the table. I want to help so many people. And, we're all in this together. You're not alone, like the books say. And I live that. I literally live, you're not alone, and we're all in this together. I'm trying to encourage you to teach someone else or tell someone else. So if you don't tell people to show up, you didn't do your part. I'll do my part. But we're all in this together. So you've got to tell somebody else that I'm here teaching it.
Yeah, Francis, there is still a lot of union presidents that don't know who we are.
We love them too.
A lot of the crafts still don't know who we are. And it's so funny, we were just talking about this. How many hits did we get on our Facebook?
So as of today, 5.8 million in the last 28 days. 5.8 million in the last 28 days.
But that's not followers.
That's an insane number of people.
It's just people that we've reached.
It made me ask her, this is the second time I mentioned China. It made me ask her if we got like hacked by China and like all these Chinese people are watching OWCP. I don't think so. And so she went and confirmed that's not what happened.
Yeah.
So you're all here, which means tell somebody else.
Okay, so
5.8 million in 28 days, a lot of people.
we are going to be in Virginia Beach for an AFGE training. So if you're with USPS, unfortunately, you cannot come to that.
But
because
we
that's
can meet you in our off time.
But we can definitely meet. So we will be flying to Virginia Beach on the 19th, and Chris trains.
Of April.
Yeah, 19th of April. Chris trains on the 20th. We leave on the 21st to Vegas, and right as we land, we drive to Utah to St. George for the Utah Postal Convention, which we don't invite anybody, so you'd have to talk to the presidents there who's allowed to attend, and then we come back home. And then
And then our doggies got to get their shots.
On April 14th, our Land O'Lakes office with Dr. Lee, Dr. Suma, and Dr. Kammerer will be doing our open house. Come in your cowboy theme, because they're doing cowboy theme. They're going to have food, open bar, they have a DJ. It was like so much fun. I'm sure you guys saw the picture. We were just taking shots.
So if you're in Spring Hill, or anywhere around these surrounding Brooksville,
Crystal River.
But Spring Hill, I know there's a lot of Spring Hill rural carriers that are driving like an hour or more to go to a doctor. Those days are over, okay? Land O'Lakes is close.
Yeah.
So that's where you go if you're in Spring Hill. Don't drive to Clearwater. You go to Land O'Lakes now because it's faster and you get to spend more time on the clock getting paid and less time off the clock fighting and jumping through hoops to get paid.
So Francis, you said your union president said something about y'all being for profit and to not work with federal injury centers. I want to work with federal injury centers because you both seem to know everything there is to know about OWCP and getting cases approved. So Francis, we do hear that all the time.
I want to answer it.
Go ahead. He wants to answer.
We are not a nonprofit corporation.
Yeah.
To say you're for profit. Okay. So I'm pretty good at stuff. I can do a lot of stuff. I'm well educated. I've got a lot of experience in a lot of stuff. I always say I could go work at Subway and make great sandwiches. But if I'm making great sandwiches at Subway, I don't have time to help you. So yes, we're for profit. Come on. Like this house needs some way to get paid. But we don't charge you out of your pocket. And every doctor you go to that figures it out gets paid. All doctors get paid. They all get paid. Oh, they're for profit. Everybody's for profit. Okay, the post office is for profit. They're making a profit, okay? Even though they say you're not, you are. Look, yes, we're not a non-profit corporation, but as far as you're concerned, it's free to you.
Yeah,
Free.
What happened to all the franchises all around? McDonald's, Walmart, Publix.
Well, they don't care about that. Those are for profit too.
But it doesn't matter.
But
it's the same thing.
The point is, our doctors are independent doctors. We are a franchise like McDonald's is a franchise. We are not a nonprofit any more than McDonald's is a nonprofit. The only difference between us and McDonald's is we don't make cheeseburgers and we don't charge you money out of your pocket. Ever, no matter what. And you can you can stick being in the 7% approval rate, or you can be in the 90+% approval rate. So that's what Federal Injury Centers does. We are in the 90+% approval rate, and we only exist because I listened, and you said, I need doctors. So because you said you need doctors, I gave you doctors.
Yeah.
So your unions need to probably get okay with that, because here we are preventing all those appeals that they're doing. There are no stacks of appeals at our doctors.
So Linda.
Hold on, I'm sorry. There are no stacks of appeals in our doctor's offices. There are stacks of approvals. Ask around in your unions and ask around at how many appeals you have versus approvals. We don't do that. We just win. And it's not for profit. I'm sorry. We're not a nonprofit.
Well, here's this. Here's Linda. She is a union president for one of the crafts in AFGE. Said, I deal with profit businesses all the time as a union president.
Well, we all do. Like, if you go to Publix, that's a profit, whatever, but you got to eat. When you come here, you got to get an accepted claim. You got to get better. You got to make it to retirement. Eventually, you want that schedule award. And nobody knows how to do this stuff, but we do. And I can't go make sandwiches at Subway because I won't have time to help you.
Oh.
So I got to do this.
Francis, it's okay. We love you too.
Yeah,
he says, I love you guys. I just didn't understand why he would say that. So you're not the only one.
This is the
Nationwide,
first question everywhere.
Everywhere. It's how do you get paid?
And that's because of Team Work Ready. Team Work Ready screwed us all. They screwed you more than me. Believe me. Look, all I got to do is fight through it. But you have to fight through all this other stuff, and you can't get help because of Team Work Ready.
This is what Dr. Cooper said. So a doctor spends 1 to 3 hours writing reports so you can get paid and treated for your profit. Should the clinics who get you approved be paid?
Well, obviously. I mean, look, doctors get paid.
Yes.
And there's a system set up for that. But somebody asked, that's the only reason we're talking about money. Otherwise, we never talk about money because we don't care.
Yeah.
We help you. This is a free service. We're glad you're here. Thank you for being here on YouTube, on Facebook. We really appreciate it. I'm sorry for the rant. When people start, I rant when you get prevented from getting help because of this is a for-profit company. Welcome to the United States, okay? For-profit is kind of a thing here. That's what we do. Except for our for-profit thing costs you nothing and helps you save your life. So
see, this topic is very touchy for both of us. I mean, our entire team, because we get harassed. We're not saying by you guys, but we get harassed by union presidents and lots of people. How do you guys get paid? Who's paying for this?
Not you.
Nothing's coming out of your pocket. You don't even go to any of our doctors. We're not speaking for any other federal clinics out there, just ours. You will never go to one of our doctors and ask for your insurance card or cash or card or anything. And if they ever do, we tell you, we want to know. I mean,
yeah, they're not allowed to. They get kicked out of the franchise.
Yeah, there are phone calls that front desk girls say to a patient, and it gets back to me, and we nip it in the butt right then and there. I'm probably the hardest one out of everybody on the team because I'm like,
she's actually really rough.
I'm like, you know, why are they saying this? They need to be trained more. So when that happens, that's exactly what we do. Some doctors wind up firing them because they know the rule not to ask for any money or
that happens.
Give patients wrong information. So we take this very seriously. We have kids. We don't want to go to jail, so this is why we do everything by the book.
We're going to stop right there. I have a strong, firm rule. We don't talk about jail. I don't own anything orange either. Mm-mm. So move past that. Don't ever say jail again. Don't do that.
Okay.
Anyways, the point is we love you. Hold on. They don't care about our trip.
I'm telling them about the 2 days.
We love you. We're here to help you. Are we for profit? Okay. We're a U.S. corporation that has whatever. Yeah, you know, we make money. But you don't make any money when your claim's denied. And we don't charge you out of your own pocket. It doesn't cost you a penny. So keep going wherever you want to go. But if you come here, we'll take care of you. And as long as you keep coming back to Wednesday night OWCP Chats with Chris and Gini on YouTube and on Facebook, you will keep getting this help, no matter what. And everyone will come around eventually. Everyone will eventually come around and realize, oh, wow, we're getting killed, except for people that go to federal injury centers.
Yeah, so enough of that. Sometimes we get on a tangent because it does bother us when this comes up. Anyways, those of you that are in Pasco and Hernando County, don't forget, April 14th in Lutz.
Land O'Lakes.
Is it Land O'Lakes?
It is for sure.
Land O'Lakes, Lutz. Oh, okay.
It's not Lutz.
Okay, Land O'Lakes. We're going to be there for our open house again with Dr. Lee, Dr. Suma, who's running that office, who is awesome. Chris was there on Monday, and he will be stopping in. So if there's anybody in Pasco and Hernando County,
he's a bad man.
He's awesome.
I'm serious.
If anybody ever wants to talk to Chris face-to-face from Pasco and Hernando County and you go to the office,
I'll be there.
Just let us know and he could be there. It's
or from anywhere. If you want to come in, I'll go to the Land O'Lakes office. They've got a space for me, and I'll be happy to sit and talk with you.
And on April 28th, our Fort Worth Bedford
Thank you.
office will be doing their grand opening, and Eric Blowers will be coming to that one. We heard there's people coming in from Oklahoma just to come see Eric, so we're going to shut him down because we're supposed to be there, not Eric. Eric steals the show every freaking time.
So the thing is, like, just when I think I'm the most loved person in OWCP, I look at who's sitting next to me. I'm like, okay, I'm number 2. But then Eric comes in, like, shoot, I'm number 3. Eric, everybody loves Eric. And you should.
Yeah.
He's a winner, too.
So he's going to be there. They're going to do Mexican food, Greek food. They're having a margarita bus. Eric's going to be there. There's going to be MRI reps there, orthopedic surgeons, neurosurgeons.
And the purpose is
everything.
Because we build pods of surgeons and imaging centers that won't charge you out of your pocket.
Yeah. So, yeah, come by if you're in the Fort Worth area. I know a lot of people were messaging me, like, oh, you're just 15 minutes down the road. So we're looking forward to our next 2 open houses. After that, we have no more open houses planned because we're not ready yet. Another set of training. So get those emails and talk to your union. And again, we'd love to come to your state convention and your national convention. And with that said, we hope you guys had a good training tonight on taking management behind the woodshed.
I mean, 2.5 hours. We've never done that before. This is a record.
Yeah.
So I actually did it for 8 hours once, but not on Wednesday Night Chats. But 2.5 hours on Wednesday Night Chats is kind of a record. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate all the questions. Thanks for tolerating my rant. I've had some... Hold on. I've had some pent-up frustrations for a few weeks.
Yeah, he has.
Obviously, the money thing frustrates me because every time you guys get prevented from getting help because somebody might be making profit, it means you're getting screwed.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to get screwed, keep listening to the people that say, "Oh, that's for profit." It's so stupid.
You know what, Sheila? I didn't even think about this. I'm gonna make you a T-shirt that says "Everybody Loves Chris." You know that show? And
not everybody does, clearly.
VM Johnson, you said I asked for help but never got a response. If you can message me after this, as soon as we hit end on the live, I will answer your question.
Yeah, I mentioned that in the beginning, and you probably weren't here, but if a question doesn't get answered, we want to answer it, so just repost it, and then we'll get to it. There's like so many people, thousands of people are watching. Occasionally we miss a question. It's not intentional, so just repost it. We'll be glad to help. We want to help you.
Yeah, Linda Smith, I am looking forward to speaking to you one-on-one so we can come help you with your AFGE members. And if you want to get us a table at the National Convention in June, we're going to be there. Despite we're still going to be there, we're going to go root for Mr. Kelly. So
yeah,
we'll look forward to that. And that's all for tonight. Don't forget, if you want to prepay, is it pre-order? No, pre-order book 3. Go to breakingowcp.com.
So the reason it's in pre-order status is because it's not printed yet, but a lot of people are like, hurry up. So it's on there. So www.breakingowcp.com. You can get these books as PDF downloads, and I want you to get them. Please get them. They're only $5 a piece because I want you to download it to your phone. That way you can put your phone in your pocket, which means you got these books in your pocket. When a supervisor gives you the wrong answer or just tells you something that just doesn't feel right, all you got to do is go to the table of contents in each book and just go to that chapter and find the answer and say, yeah, but here's the real truth. The point I'm doing is like, you don't have any help. You got nothing, okay? No offense to unions, you're helpful, obviously.
Even especially when there's no clinic there.
Let me explain myself. I'm not talking about unions not being helpful. I'm saying you don't have doctors. You're struggling. You're on an island by yourself, and I've given you these that you can stick in your pocket. So go to breakingowcp.com and download these to your phone. The 3rd volume is coming. You can pre-order it now. I put in the print order today. It takes however long it takes. As soon as they are delivered to me, I'll start shipping them out. So go ahead and go to breakingowcp.com and order your 3rd volume and get your first 2 on PDF and put them in your pocket. And as soon as I have the printed copies, I'll mail them out to you right away, and shipping is always free.
It's also available for download, yes. So you can buy the downloadable one and just get it
Well, it's not on there yet, but the 3rd book, I mean, if there's a significant demand for the 3rd book being downloadable right now, I'll go ahead and put it on there. But those of you that wanted printed copies to complete your set, which is funny, I never thought of having like a set of books. I'm not famous, in case you're not sure.
He is.
I'm really not. But I wrote these books, and they're good, and they're helpful, and I want you to get them because I don't want you to keep getting screwed over.
Yeah. Well, guys, we will see you.
In a lot of different places coming up soon.
We will be here on the 13th. So
next week?
Yeah, we will be here next week.
For Q&A, because I'm sure after tonight there's going to be a ton of questions. So we'll do Q&A next week. I want you to bring all your questions, whatever they are, OWCP related. Ask me, and I'll give you the straight answers.
Yep. So we will see you guys next week for Q&A. And with that said, don't forget to share, like, and follow. And on YouTube, don't forget to go click that subscribe button and the little bell to get the notifications when we go live. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Have a good night.